All right, what is happening, everybody? I apologize for the delay. Immortal is just running a little bit behind this evening, and I was trying to wait as long as I could, but I know I got a schedule to keep as well. So here we are. I'm going to start. I'll start with talking about some of my own off of my own top 10 list, or I should say the 10 games I'm wanting to talk about this evening, rather, not top 10. As you guys know, for those that have been keeping up with us during these streams, it's not necessarily a top 10. Like I said, it's me and whoever the guest is that I have on. We talk about 10 games each that we would like to rank among themselves, and then we would collectively have our combined ranking system, or tier rather. That would be the total 20 games that we're going to be talking about this evening. And then, of course, you guys in the chat, you guys will be able to rank the games as we go along, and you guys will have your own set to go off of. And what I'll do is I will just duplicate the duplicate the tab that has both of our picks on there, and then you guys will be able to tell me what you guys want to see in what category. And just to keep in mind as we go along, you guys in the chat, the rules are always that we are only going to have, so since we have 20 games and 5 sets tiers as far as S, A, B, C, and D, 4 games per tier. So that way it keeps things a little bit interesting and makes you guys think a little bit as to where you would rank these games amongst its peers. So let's see. Do we have anybody with us here in the chat just yet? Okay. Let's see. I did hear a ping on Discord, so I'm going to see if that is... Nope, it is not, sadly. It's not Immortal. Okay. So I guess, excuse me, before I get going, just want to do a quick shout out for those of you that do not know. I am a part of the lovely Super Retro Force. That is correct, which is our team consisting of, I believe it's 14 members now, if I got it right, in total. And, you know, we make content over there. It's not a collab. I know a lot of people think it's just a collab. It's not. It's just a group of creators that are making stuff for a singular channel. It's not a collab, because a collab, in my opinion, I think is kind of like not even necessarily like a one-off thing, but just maybe like it's like an intermittent thing. Like me and Immortal, for instance. Like I've had him on multiple times, but it's not all the time. You know what I mean? So I guess I would say that this is definitely, like I said, it's a team thing. Just think of it as a normal channel, but with just multiple people on it. And then that would be pretty much it. But let's see here. I think Immortal's trying to get a hold of me. Okay, yeah, he's going to be on here in just a moment. Okay. So, I guess I will start off, and hopefully I don't make any bad choices. I know this is hard. I kind of do this to myself. Like, I'll put like a few games that I'm kind of like, they could possibly be on the lower end of things, but I don't want it to be too obvious, because obviously, you know, if you'd be able to tell if I was kind of sandbagging for the sake of doing it, you know, to like have really good games towards the top, and then, you know, I guess bad ones towards the bottom. So I try to pick 10 games that are they're all good games. It's just a matter of where are they going to lie. So the first one that I'm going to talk about, oh man. Gosh, I'm just looking through. I'm like, why is it so hard? Okay, I'm gonna go Vagrant Story. We'll start with that, right? And I think I'll put that. And sorry if you guys are hearing creaking or anything when I'm talking, because where I'm at in the basement, I think my wife's walking around the house, and you can hear her walking pretty much right above me. But I believe I'm going to put this. Shoot. I think I'm going to go B. I think I'm like distraught over here. You know what? Maybe I'll go C. Because I'm trying to think. Got 1, 2. Yeah. I'm good with that. We'll go. You know what? Yeah, we'll go C. I know I'm making this way harder than what it needs to be, but you know how it is when you're trying to rank stuff. You know, it's a tedious process. So, there's that. I can't help it. So, and then along the way, I'm going to try to show you guys gameplay footage of the games that we're talking about here, and I'll let you guys know because I'm pulling up YouTube clips here, and I'll tell you who I'm getting the clips from. So this first one's going to come from, I think it's pronounced Kawaii Games, and yeah. There we go. Wrong tab. That would help. There we go. Okay. So there you can see good old Vagrant Story. So I personally loved this game, and like I said, I know I got it at C. I couldn't quite put it in D. I know it got crapped on a lot when it came out, and I'm not exactly sure as to why, in my opinion, because when I played it, I thought it was very innovative, and like as you can see, like during the battle mechanics, you can target different areas of the body, which I felt was really good. Like it was a cool aspect. It wasn't just attack this person or whatever, you know what I mean? And there was a reason for attacking each limb, and they did different things. Like I can remember, I believe off the top of my head, if you attacked the head, it had to do with their magic. I couldn't remember if it was like maybe they got less magic points or they did less damage, I believe. It's been a long time since I played it, so bear with me. The arms, I believe, that had to do with attacking, and then the legs was obviously, I believe, mobility. I think it slowed them down. And the body, I want to say that had to do with their defense. And I can't recall for sure. And of course, there's a lovely ad for us. Go figure. Get out of here, Disney. We want to see games. But, hey, kind of comes with it when you're trying to watch the clips on someone's channel, right? But I thought it was a good game. The only thing that I would say that kind of took away from it for me was because it was released, I believe, in 99. And at this point in time, you had different cutscenes that had voice acting and stuff like that. This game, it was very, very vanilla in that regard. It was kind of like I guess you could say, comic book text. Like it would have like the speech bubble. Then you'd have to read the dialogue, and there was no voice acting. But I still like the game itself. If you just kind of take away from that being a deterrent from like storytelling and stuff. I mean, granted, some people might like it that way. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I did kind of, as a kid, because I was 13 when I played it, I was kind of hoping to see kind of like the cut scenes and stuff like we had seen on other games and stuff like that. So that for me was just like a slight, I guess you could say a slight little defect, if you will, but just mainly because for how old the game was, or like when it was released, rather, you would have thought that towards the end of the PS1 era that it would have had a little more into it when it came to that, but I don't know if the budget was either. But overall, I felt like it was a good game, and another mechanic that's off the top of my head that I liked was the repair aspect to items, so they had a durability factor, and once they were gone, they were either gone or you could repair them and stuff like that. So you had to really pay attention to how you used your items. But the game itself, I can't remember off the top of my head how long it took me personally to beat it. I'm sure if I went on to here, it's like, I'm looking at so they're like at 7 hours. But me personally, I think it took me probably closer to like 12, just because, trying to figure everything out. But if you played through it enough, I'm sure, you'd see that, it probably would, like anything else. Like I think like Metal Gear Solid, I think it took me a while to beat it, but then once I beat it, it was one of those games, I think it was one of the first games that I actually was able to speed run, and I was trying to push myself to see how fast I could get through the game. But when I first played it took me forever because you don't know where everything's at and you don't know the timings of things. But nonetheless, Vagrant Story, I felt was a great, great game. All right. So you got that one out of the way. So here we go. Got the chat. What up, Rad? Oh, won't be able to chat. Oh, that's all right. Oh, there's Mr. Froze and Fat Boys Gaming. What up? That's right. Smash that like for me, man. I would appreciate it. This here's easy peasy. Oh, yeah, Froze. What do we got? What do we got? All right, so right now, where do you guys want to see Vagrant Story? I'm gonna post up the poll to see where you guys want it. All right, so we go S A B C/D, and then if you do vote for C/D, just post up in the chat if you want it to be in C or in D, and then we will continue on. I showed up to make bad decisions. Oh yeah, that's what I like to hear. That is exactly what I like to hear. Let's see. Sorry, I was trying not to talk because my wife was running water upstairs and I could hear it coming down through the pipes. I know I'm going to get like a copyright thing here, but it's a little too, since I don't have anybody to talk to in the meantime, I was going to try to put on some background music. There, I didn't want to blast you guys. All right, let me know if that's too loud or not. All right. So, carrying on. And don't worry, for anybody that's been popping in, that blank box that's above me, it will be filled once I know he is available. So next up, let's see here. Sadly, I feel like I'm gonna end up going through my list, and then we'll just be talking about his. But it's all right though, because we can rank our games together. Let's see. So what do we got so far? We got one for A, one for B. Ooh, nice. All right, I'll leave that up for a bit while I go through and talk about the next game. Ooh, gosh. Okay. So I know Froze knows me on a personal level, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think he knows that I'm really into not only RPGs, but also platformers are like, they were a huge staple in my video game portfolio when I was growing up as a kid. So those were games that I personally went to. Thanks, Fat Boys, for letting me know that the volume was good. All right, so getting back, show you guys what do we got here. I'm gonna go with, gosh dang it, this is tough, man. I feel like I'm doing it's having a D, it seems like it's a disservice to some of these games. So for me, I'm just kind of looking, because I'm going between Ninja, Jersey Devil, and Blasto. Now Blasto I never actually beat yet, So this one's going to be kind of impartial. And impartial and unofficial, I'll say that much, because I've only played, I want to say when I looked at my save file, I'm only about 25% through, but I do like it a lot. I thought it was a great game so far from what I've played, and it's very challenging. But I'm thinking I'm going to start with Blasto, and I'm going to put it at... Gosh dang it. Man, this is this is tough. Oh, I'm gonna have to go D. God, this pains me. Okay, so Froze asked how many for each. So for my singular one, for mine, and when Immortal gets here, since we're doing 10, 2 apiece. So 2 per rank. So just keep that in mind. Get your hair together and you'll jump right in. Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear, brother. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go Blasto with my D. Okay. There we go. All right. So Blasto, as you can see, you know, it's the old school 3D polygon era stuff, which I personally love. I know it gets crapped on a lot because it was the first adventures into the polygon era, and of course, yet again, another freaking ad. I was trying to avoid this. All right, so, and go. There we go. All right. So, it is a little bit clunky. Don't get me wrong, it is. As a lot of games I think were during this era, like trying to maneuver and stuff like that. But overall, I loved the art style, how the platforms looked. It reminded me similar, not quite the same, obviously, because it's not Gothic, but the abstractness of the animation style, it reminded me a lot of Medieval, and I absolutely loved that game, which obviously we will be talking about here today. But I loved it. It was like it was like that type of art style, but futuristic instead of Gothic, if that makes any sense. Just with the over-the-top angles and, you know, just, like I said, like, just the way things are, like Blasto, his chest, he's, like, super big, but he's got these, like, little chicken legs, like, that type of stuff. That, I don't know, I love it, and I'm always drawn into it, and just, again, the platforming, I like you'll see here, just trying to traverse through and make sure you get those jumps right, and doing it in that type of pattern, I enjoy it a lot. I don't know how you guys feel about stuff like this, or how you felt about stuff like this back in the day. If you felt like it was too challenging or maybe not challenging enough. I still think that it's challenging to even today's standards. And that right there, I love that. Jumping from that platform all the way there, and you're kind of like, you're hoping I'm going to make the leap. Because if you don't, then you fall off the stage and then you die. Which, if you did not know from playing Blasto, that is something that you need to take into account, that you can fall off the platform. It's not like it has that invisible barrier, that railing, so to speak, that's going to keep you on the road, so to speak. You can fall off. Everything is completely open. And that was one thing that I really did enjoy about Blasto. And like all these right here, you can shoot the glass and shatter them if you wanted to. But, yeah, I mean, overall, the challenge I felt was definitely there. I think it holds up to today's standards. You guys tell me how you feel about it in the chat, but I feel like this is one of those games that definitely has aged well overall. Like I said, one could argue that there was some things that are just a little clunky, because this is, again, we're talking about a game that was made, 26 years ago? I mean, when you think about it, to put it in perspective, if you were talking to me in high school, so circa 2000 to 2004, and you told me that I was going to be playing a game that was 26 years old back then, I mean, you're talking Atari era, right? So I mean, when you're looking at this and you're talking about a game and this was 26 years ago, it's not bad. I really, like I said, I enjoyed it from what I have gotten to play through so far. And I look forward to continuing my quest on playing it. And thank God they finally got retro achievements for this game, because when I first started my file, they had no retro achievements for it. So now I have to restart another file just so that way I can go back through to try to collect those lovely retro achievements. And if you guys don't know about retro achievements, I did talk about it in a brief video here on the channel, but I will just say it's definitely something to look into, and it adds a whole new dimension on trying to go back and playing those old school games that we all love and love to play. So I will now go back to the chat. Oh, there he is. JP, what up, man? All right, so Mortal says have something to add on Vagrant Story. Oh, hell yeah. Feel free to, my man. But I hope that, hope your guys' day's been going so far. You know, yours as well, JP, of course. And now that I got Blasto out of the way, I'm going to end the poll for Vagrant Story. Ooh, so we got 2 for... Oh, it's going back and forth. So what do we got? A? So we got 3 for A and 2 for B. All right. Hey, there's Artsy. What up, Artsy? I just seen you there in the chat. Glad to have you with us this evening. And I have to get you on for one of these too, so we can talk about some games. All right, so I guess A is where it's gonna lie. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna switch on over so you guys can see where your stuff's at. All right. Okay, so we got Vagrant Story is gonna go in A. And like I said, I really, really loved Vagrant Story. I really did. When I was looking at my list, I'm going, I don't know if I was debating on putting it in B originally. That was where I was originally going to put it, was B for myself. But then I was like looking at the other games. I'm going, I don't know. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so we got that. Now I'm going to have to make up the poll for you guys here for Blasto. So again, if you guys want it in C or D, make sure to post that in the chat as well, because I only got 4 slots here. So Blasto, whoops, if I can, there we go. I accidentally made it full screen on my side. Alrighty, so now we got the poll started for Blasto. And again, just showing mine, I got Blasto in D, because like I'm looking at the games. I got Medieval, Crash Bandicoot, Einhander, Jersey Devil, Legend of Legaia, Mega Man Legends, Ninja Shadow of Darkness, and Twisted Metal 2. So I mean, oh, Mr. Immortal is ready. All right, brother. Get your ass on Discord. There we go. All right. I'm just going to mute. Oh, there it is. All right. And there he is.
Yeah, I was sending you a message. I was like, you didn't see my chat.
No, it didn't. I didn't hear the thing. I didn't.
Yeah, I was trying to get in and say something about Vagrant Story.
Oh, you're good. You're good. We got plenty of time, man. Because luckily I'm off work tomorrow, so it's okay.
Oh, sweet. Even better.
Oh yeah.
So I might have my camera covered until I get my hair together. It's kind of wet. So let me well, I guess I'll just have my little Discord icon until I.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. That's good, man.
Okay. Yeah. I want to
No,
be on here
no
looking
rush,
all
man. Like I said, I was just trying to get it going just because I didn't want people to be thinking that I was flaking out on them. So I was like, I better just at least start and try to get the chat going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good. It's good. But is it all right if I mention something about Vagrant Story?
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
okay, well, I didn't get a chance to play it, but I do have it on a ROM for it. But the story behind it is very, very unique because it follow. I think his name is Matsuda. I have to double check that, but he's the creative director behind Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre and Final Fantasy 12.
Okay.
And so Vagrant Story was like, Tactics was his breakout success, and everyone loved it. He, became super awesome, and Square was like, "We're gonna promote you. Yeah, we made a lot of money. Make your own game." He was like, "I want to make Vagrant Story."
Oh, okay.
And I heard you said you liked it. It was one of those games that unfortunately I think it had a bad release window.
Yeah.
But it ties directly into the story of Ivalice, which is like my favorite Final Fantasy
Oh, okay.
timeline.
I did not know that.
So yeah, I just wanted to get that because I was like, yeah, that's one. It's part of a really the lore behind Vagrant Story and the Ivalice timeline is, I think, peak Final Fantasy, over 7, over 10. Oh yeah, but that's my little 2 cents on it.
Yeah, see, like, just to talk about it real quick, because I'm trying to remember, because I know you're a little bit younger than me, but
Yeah.
Did you know anybody at the time that played that game while it was like during its cycle?
Unfortunately, no. By the time I got into Vagrant Story
Yeah.
and that tier of Final Fantasy, I was already a man.
Oh, I was already a man, baby. Yeah, like I was the only one. It is wild to me. Like, okay, so not trying to act like I'm something special here. It's just it blew my mind. Like I couldn't believe because, excuse me, I knew a lot of people who were like obsessed with RPGs, right, growing up. And not saying I didn't like them. It was just it blew my mind that I was the only one that not only knew about the game but actually owned it, like within my immediate friend circle. Like everyone's like, "What the hell's Vagrant Story?" I'm like, "What?" I was like, "How is it that I know about this? You guys are the ones that are like all about everything." Like when Final Fantasy VII first came out, I had like 4 of my buddies coming up to me just like stroking it for how awesome it was, and I didn't even hear about it. So for me to hear about this and they had no idea what I was talking about, I was just like mind blown. And then when I showed them the game, I would say half of them, it was almost like they were split. Half of them thought it was a good game, and then the other half were like, it's okay. And then that was really it.
I think part of that, and that's very interesting. Like, because like you're the first person I know that's played it when it was around.
Okay.
So I think that's really cool. That's a certain level of privileged knowledge that I think kind of wraps back around to why it wasn't well received, because I don't remember when 7 came out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was before or after Vagrant Story.
Okay.
But I think because 7 kind of cemented the West interpretation of JRPGs,
Yeah.
Vagrant Story fell outside of that. So they were just like, well, this is a Final Fantasy 7.
And that's, sadly, I think that's what it is. Is like, because like, that was the one thing, I don't know if you heard me or not when I was talking about it, like for my 13-year-old brain, because I had already played like Final Fantasy 7. So seeing certain cutscenes and stuff like that, and the way certain stuff was presented, when I didn't see that on a game that was released, I think 2 years or even I think it was 2 years later. Because Final Fantasy 7 I think was 97 if I recall correctly. I think it might have been late 97, I think. But I know for certain that I'm pretty sure that Vagrant Story was 99. Somebody in the chat can correct me if I was wrong on that, but I believe it was late 99 maybe, or it could have been early 2000. I know I was in the 8th grade. I know that much. But so it was either 99 or 2000. It was either late 99 or early 2000. But by that point, that was the only thing like I kind of critiqued it on, was the comic book style dialogue, how they showed that stuff, and like there wasn't even animations for like even their mouths moving or anything like that. It was just the still shots, and they were kind of like moving around, and then you had to kind of fill in the blanks and stuff like that. But outside of that, I mean, the actual gameplay I thought was really, really well put together in my opinion.
Well, I definitely think it's safe to assume that that's what it was. When Seven came out, and the West has we have this, and it's still kind of prevalent to this day. We have this thing where if it's super popular and it's mainstream, it has mainstream appeal.
Yeah.
If it deviates from that even a little bit, we're not into it
Yeah.
because that's why the Final Fantasy franchise just kind of picked up after that. But Vagrant Story, it's like, yeah, it's Final Fantasy adjacent. Well, that's not Final Fantasy enough. It's like, well, that's unfortunate,
Yeah.
but
So what'd you think about Blasto? Did you play that at all?
I did not. But I probably would have liked that. It seems like it's it reminds me of a Spyro
Yeah.
3,
It's kind of got
and
like that. Yeah. Definitely got that feel,
yeah,
like Spyro feel. Yeah.
yeah, and one of the characters you run around with a blaster, it looks very similar to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I am. This is just gonna have to do. Okay.
Getting your
Let's,
cam feed ready.
Yeah, on Discord, it
Yep.
is on.
Oh, there he is in all of his glory. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Had to get sexy for you guys. All right.
Oh yeah.
Add you here. But Blasto, yeah, just to end on that. It
Hey,
definitely was a game that like I said, I actually didn't get to play it while it was new. Like during its run, I didn't get to play it. It was one I missed out on, but I actually just recently started playing it, and then again, I don't know if you heard me talking about it or not, but because how I try to do like the retro achievements and stuff like that. When I first started playing it, they didn't have any retro achievements yet on the website, and then of course, I get to the point to where I'm at now, and now they got them. So now I got to restart my file or restart a new file so I can try to go get some lovely retro achievements.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So we got them in the house now. There we go. I gotta, I gotta copy that.
Oh.
And every time you hear that, I know you can hear that, but that's just me. That's just me transitioning scenes. Is also don't worry.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that people could hear that until can't remember who was on. They were like, "What the hell was that?" And I was like, "Oh, you can hear that?"
Freaking whoops.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh man, I didn't know that was coming through Discord." All right.
Like an anime character, my hair's covering my eyes.
Okay. So now that I got 2 under my belt, and the chat is still working on their voting on Blasto. Right now, there's 1 for B, 2 for C/D, but it looks like Fatboys Gaming is calling for D. Whoever was the other vote, please do me a solid and just let me know if you wanted it C or D, because then what I'll do is if obviously what I try to do is like kind of take an average of what you guys are putting. So if there's 2 Ds and 1 B, I would say that would be probably, I'd say that would be a D, because if it was a B and a D, that'd be a C. But since if you had 2 Ds, I would just put it in the D category.
The double D category.
Double D. So if you did not know, Immortal, why did it do that? There we go. So if you did not know, we're going to be ranking ours together as well.
All right.
So,
Awesome.
that being said, where would you like us together putting? We got Blasto and Vagrant Story. So the rules are, if you didn't know, we got 4 games for each tier. So 4 has to go in D, 4 has to go in C, and all the way up. So just keep that in mind as we go. So I guess we'll start with Blasto. Where would you personally like to see Blasto?
I haven't played it, but because I got a little bias in me, it looks close to Spyro 3. I probably put it in B.
Ooh. Okay, we'll put it in C because I was going to say D just because I'm like, man, there are some. Well, let's see here. Let me just make sure. Because in my mind, what I'm trying to think of is the game that I'm playing. Like, so in this case, I'm like, so if you're saying B, I guess to try to keep in mind, it's like you're saying that no, it would be like better than 8 games on this list. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to keep in mind.
Yeah. Okay, well, hold on.
Yeah.
I can't see the. I'm looking at your stream, but I can't see the other list of games.
Okay, so we got. I'll just read them off, and we got from left to right. We got Medieval, Tekken 2, Spyro, Siphon Filter, Hydro Thunder, Tenchu, Ape Escape, Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing, Einhander, Tomb Raider, Jersey Devil, Legend of Legaia, Metal Gear Solid, Mega Man Legends, Ninja Shadow of Darkness, the Mortal Kombat trilogy, Twisted Metal 2, and then Vagrant Story. I know, a lot of good games, right?
Yeah.
It's tough.
I'd probably put Blasto in C or D then.
Okay.
Because I was just kind of, it looks similar to something I probably would have liked, but if, compared to that list,
Okay. I am going to go, I'm just trying to look here. Okay, I guess I'm going to say D. Just because I'm like, there's at least 3 games I know it's better than, for me anyways. I'm just going to speak for myself here. But don't know if I'd put it in C. But it is a good game, though. I'm just like, again, this is rated amongst its peers, folks. So if there's anybody lurking about and they're like, what do you mean it's a D, bro? It's just, I'm not saying it's a bad game.
Yeah, like D is still passing.
Yeah, it's not a failing game. It's just amongst its peers, so don't stroke out on us. All right, what about Vagrant Story? Where do you think this one should go?
All right, this one I will say my bias is high, even though I haven't played it. But I'm like I really kiss up to the Final Fantasy 12 director a little too much. I'm not gonna say S.
You're gonna go
A. I'm like, look, dude. Like, I feel like I'm really gonna like that game when I play it because I love 12 is my favorite game. I'm getting into tactics and the story behind his rise and fall within the company Square and the comeback story with the Evil East Raids in Final Fantasy 14 is just. I gotta glaze the guy, so it gets an A. That was his baby. Vagrant Story was his baby, so I'm gonna give it an A.
Okay.
So.
All right. So just looking at Blasto, now we got 4 votes. We're up to 4 votes. Now we got 1 for A, 1 for B, and then 2 for C/D, but I only got 1 for D. So I'm just going to assume that's 2 in the D's. It's getting the D. So, yeah, that's what I'll roll with. So I guess before I close out that poll, we'll start off with what's the first game that you want to talk about that's on your list, and where would you like me to put it? And then give us a little backstory as to, your likes or maybe your dislikes, and then, just your nostalgia, if you have any, that ties along with it. A little story time, if you will.
Okay, so it's a tie between the 2 multiplayer games, Crash Team Racing and Hydro Thunder. But I'm going to give it to Hydro Thunder because this it resonates the most with me with nostalgically, and of course I could play my brothers with it. We all played Crash Team Racing 2, so Crash Team Racing is right under there. And
so where's this one going?
S.
Oh, this is going S. Oh wow, are you sure? You got one more that you can put in S. Are you sure that you want to put this in S?
I am absolutely sure.
Wow, really?
to this day.
I say I'm just looking at all the games you got. That's why I'm like, are you sure? Okay.
The reason why I say it is because like there's an aspect that Hydro Thunder has over all these other games that they don't have,
Okay.
and that is Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, Chuck E.
They
Cheese.
had they had the Hydro Thunder machine, and like that thing was loud. It would rumble, and dude, like you have a emotional moment as a child.
Oh yeah, all the
Like
time.
I and to this day, like I never forget it, man. Because another game like that is Cruising World, and they had a recent game called Cruising Blast on the Switch, and they had a Cruising Blast machine and like the Dave and Buster's and stuff. And when I sat down and played it, that familiar feeling came back. It almost make you want to cry because of how awesome it is. Like the loud engines, and the thing with Hydro Thunder, there's so many aspects about that game that I have wired to my head that I'll just randomly say. Choose your track. Lost Island. Select your boat. You're crazy.
Oh yeah.
Bad hazard.
Yeah.
And then the loading screen, because it was the immersion that game puts you in is unlike any other game. All these years later, the only game that kind of comes close is Cruising Blast, and I say it comes close, but this was the one. You're like, see, you're racing through a freaking volcano. Like games don't do this anymore, man. It's just then your boat transforms when you get your boost speeds. It's so loud. It's so the high octane. It just makes you want to punch somebody. It's so cool.
I will say,
It's
you know
like-
what? I agree with the arcade factor. There is a lot of great games. Like I'm not much of a racing game guy, but if you sit me down in an arcade and I can play a racing game, like either it's a car one or a motorcycle one or somewhere, I'm just sitting down in there and I'm using like the actual gear shifters and stuff like that. I can get into them, but when I'm just sitting there using a controller, it's not the same. But I totally get what you're saying. Like if I was playing this on an arcade, I'd probably be like, yeah, this is pretty damn sweet.
Yeah, like the feeling that game delivered. Like a lot of other games on the list got me close, but that one was the one that just it never left. Like to years later, like one of my my stream introduction videos uses the countdown for my stream, and they like the loading screen where it's like hyper signals goes, options take goes, the 8-track cassette player, and it's like the immersion is so it's unlike no other. It just makes you feel like you're in a freaking boat about to. And then my favorite stage, New York Disaster. The music on that stage is flawless. You're literally racing. A meteor just crashed in New York, destroyed the entire city. And there's like, flood water everywhere, and you're just there trying to race your boats. Wow. There's like this boat he's trying to save people from the disaster while you're racing. And he cuts in on your intercom. He's like, "Whoa, what are you doing, you freaking nut job? You're trying to save lives here." And then when you start, getting ahead of him, he's like, "Oh, don't you want to race? You're angry at me. Let's go, pal." And then he starts to race. And it's just, it's peak fiction, and it's magical. It's like, this is Disney World to me. I should put it like this. Like anytime, like as soon as we got this game, because we got it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
We played it at the arcade, but the Dreamcast version was the perfect version. It had the best graphics. It ran at 60 frames per second. Back when games did that, and it was beautiful. It just, and then you could play, and then it was multiplayer, so you played it with your brothers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like
Multiplayer's where it's at, especially that good old couch co-op that people just, a lot of people like to try to crap on it, but man, there ain't nothing like it. It's so good.
Yeah, back then it was what brought everyone together. Everyone thinks online is like hot stuff, but whatever. Like it's alright.
Yeah, it's got its place, but I mean, it's just, you can't just completely dismiss couch co-op, and I think that a lot of gaming companies they don't take that into consideration anymore when they make games, and that's quite sad in my opinion.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, especially when we know there's a place for it with a lot of old school style games that come out that kind of have that familiar vibe. I think it can definitely make a comeback if a studio or a company just decides to be a little brave instead of following trends.
Yeah.
Because right now everybody wants to be a battle royale or some type of shooting, blah blah blah. Everything's so samey now.
Yeah.
There's a ton of variety back in the day. So
it looks
but yeah,
like Blasto's going to go in the B category for the chat based off what they got there. Now I'll give them. Where do you guys want to see Hydro Thunder? All right.
Hydro Thunder. Man. Oh my goodness. Such a fantastic experience. It's more than a game.
It's more than a game. It's a way of life. All right, so what do we have next? What do we got next? And what game and where do you want me to put it on the list?
Let's see. You mean on mine or yours?
There we go. On yours right now. So you got Tekken 2, Spyro, Siphon Filter, Tenchu 1, Ape Escape, Crash Team Racing, Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid, and Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Okay. Well, since Hydro Thunder is the king of the hill,
well, you got one more slot. Remember, it's 2 for each tier, so you got one more that you can put up in the S slot.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna use this one too soon. I'd say I'd put the Mortal Kombat trilogy in A.
A, huh? I know you're more of a you like fighting games more than myself, so that doesn't really surprise me. So why are we putting the MK trilogy in A?
For similar reasons to Hydro Thunder, except this one was more with extended family because we didn't have Mortal Kombat growing up, but my cousin did. And the late nights where we would play it nonstop, it was very fun. And the idea of unlocking fatalities and supers and all this stuff, because the one that really stuck out the most was Mortal Kombat 4 or Gold. But I'm kind of like tying that into the trilogy because I did play a fair share of that, and it stuck with me the most. Mortal Kombat is one of those games that went on to continue to dominate a significant portion of my childhood for years to come until Mortal Kombat 11. But as far as like
Car's value went up.
Maybe we should track
the
all
original
our
trilogy, really good. The Sub-Zero side game, which it was kind of rough, but it was still, it had its nostalgia. It was pretty good. And the brutalities, there's a lot of good feelings behind Mortal Kombat that I can't really attribute to anything else. So.
I was trying to get some gameplay footage up. I accidentally clicked the X and deleted the tab. So, it's funny when I look at the graphics on the Mortal Kombat stuff from back in the day. Like, obviously, to today's standards, it looks kind of corny. Like, you just seen Ermac fall down into the spikes and stuff, and it looks pretty clunky to today's standards. But back then, though, it was still pretty cool, though. You know what I mean? Just to see something like that, because you didn't really see anything like that in a fighting game back in the day. Like, the first time I seen somebody get uppercutted into the pit on Mortal Kombat 1, I was like, what just happened? It's like, it was crazy. It was just, you're used to fighting people, and then once they died, they just fell over, and that was it,
Yeah, this game really kind of exposed you to, like, this was like the M-rated game. I was like, I'm not supposed to be playing this, but my parents don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool. Like, it's very, very fun.
Oh, yeah. So, I can say, I as much as I can say, like, I'm not big on fighting games, I did play them growing up. I mean, I do understand where people can get enticed and get sucked into them and stuff like that. It was one of those things where I could tell it was one of those fighting games. I have a respect for them, because the main reason I don't really like play them that much is that I know to be really, really good, like you have to play the crap out of them to really learn move sets, timings there, and I just don't got the time for it. So that's why I just personally don't play them. I'll play them recreationally, like I'll set it on whatever the default settings are. That's it. I'm not gonna really go up on the difficulty because I just ain't got time for it. But I do, like I said, I do have a respect for it for people who actually do hone their craft on how to control certain characters, like what as the kids say these days, they're maining characters and stuff like that. Like I got a respect for it, but it's not for me. So I would prefer to take my time and use it on other stuff. So that's it.
Which is fair, definitely, because fighting games is it's a time sink if you want to get good. Like you can play it, like you said, recreationally, but once you get the bitten by the competitive and oh, I don't want to get beat no more, then I couldn't tell you how many hours I put into fighting games once I thought I was competitive, a viable competitor. So, but that's how it probably goes to Tekken and Street Fighter 4. Tekken, yep. So, man.
So going back to the chat, we got three votes for Hydro Thunder currently. We got one for S, one for A, and then one for C/D. But nobody put on here that they wanted it to be in C or D. All right. So I'll let that sit for just a little bit longer. And I will go into my next game, which I'm gonna talk about. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with Einhander, and I'm debating. I'm gonna put it in A or B.
How's that game spelled?
Einhander or Hander. I say Hander. It's got like two dots above the A. It's EINHANDER. And if you've never played it, dude, this for the times, this is probably the craziest looking shoot 'em up. I mean, I love it. I think it's great. I'm just debating on if I'm gonna put it in A or if I have to drop it to B. I'm just looking at some of the games on where I'm going to put those. And actually, based off of what I got, I might actually put this in S. Maybe. No, we'll leave it at A. We'll leave it at A. I think I'll be okay with that. I might have regrets. Every one of these, by the end of it, I have regrets on what I did, but we'll stick it at A for now, and we'll see what happens. So, Einhander, for those of you that don't know, it is it's a shmup. And this gameplay footage is going to be brought to you by Brain Dead Entertainment on the tubes of you. So that way, give credit where credit's due, because my lazy ass doesn't have any footage. So there we go. So you can see, I know if you're watching the stream, you'll see it eventually, but it changes angles, which I loved. Like, so it's already 3D, right? And then it's like, I guess you could say it's pseudo 3D because it's technically 2D in some aspects. Like you're just going in a typical linear fashion, like you're traversing left to right, going up and down. But like, as you're seeing here, it's like an angle, you know what I mean? It's not just up, down, left, right. It's like that. It's almost like the screen, like it rotates a little bit, and so it puts a different depth to it. And then you can go forward, backwards. And then like the way it looks, it adds dimension to everything. And of course, me being like huge into 80s culture and like I loved like the colors. It's funny. I would not be caught dead wearing any of these bright colors that came out of the 80s and early 90s, but I like them from an aesthetic standpoint, whether it was like presentation on video games or certain stuff that you've seen in stores back in the day. Like I just loved how those things looked. Like I love it. But from what you can see, it's just like it's a shoot 'em up that I think that it is very challenging. And of course, like most shoot 'em ups, it's very, very challenging when you have no idea when to expect enemies, to when they're going to come out. You don't know what their weaknesses are. You don't know what weapons are the best and stuff like that. So you got to play to figure that all out. But then once you start to really figure out all those things, I would say I would put this almost on the same level as Earth Defense Force, but a little bit more tough. Because like Earth Defense Force, I felt I would say from a difficulty standpoint, I put that as a lower tiered shoot 'em up. So somebody who isn't the best at them could play that and eventually beat it. And this one, I think, would just be a little bit higher than that on the difficulty aspects, because there's a little bit more going on, I think, that you got to kind of pay attention to. But the music is great. The sounds are awesome. Like, as you can see, the visuals, in my opinion, for a game of its time, again, it's so aesthetically appealing, at least to me. This just checks all the boxes. And I remember when I first seen this game, it was Christmas, and we went over to my aunt and uncle's house, and my cousins were playing this, and my mind, like my jaw about hit the floor, because I was like, this game looks amazing. And I couldn't get enough. Was this one that you had played at all, or no?
I didn't, but I wish I did. It looks amazing,
dude.
It's
I
like
good.
the camera switching and stuff. I see what you mean. It's very like dynamic.
Yeah.
And it looks like something I could play for hours.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's definitely got replayability in there. Like they have little collectibles and stuff that you can get for doing different things. But it's definitely, like I said, it's challenging. Don't get me wrong, it is challenging. Like you get hit once, you die. So I mean, you really got to pay attention to what the heck you're doing. And but it definitely, once you start figuring out the patterns on stuff, it's not too terrible, but still you got to pay attention, and it does drive a challenge. So definitely, if you're looking for a challenge, you're not going to be disappointed when you go to play this game, that's for sure. But I'll just end with that is my reasons for having it at A, and I just think that, yeah, it's probably one of my favorite shoot 'em ups to date, in my opinion.
Could you spell it one more time?
Yeah, it is EINHANDER. And if you were to buy this game, if you wanted the actual discs, it's like $200. It's nuts. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever buy it, but you know, maybe if I have some stuff to trade for it, I might. But
yeah. Uh-oh.
I'm just trying to get back to the chat here. Yeah, if you ever see if you like where your camera's at, it goes black, it's not you. It's because sadly I'm down to 2 monitors instead of 3, so it's me trying to minimize the box that's covering your face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's nothing on your end. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha. Okay, I see it. I think I will give it a look-see. Definitely looks cool.
Okay, so Hydro Thunder, we got 1S, 1A. So I guess we're going to put that, I would say that would average out to an A. 1S, 1A, and then I'm going to say 1D. So that would, so we'll put that in the A tier for the chat. And what else do we have? We got Mortal Kombat Trilogy, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll end this poll. All right, so on ours, we did not put MK Trilogy on anything. Where would we like to put that on ours? So right now we only got Blasto and Vagrant Story up there. So we got to put Mortal Kombat Trilogy somewhere. And I already know what you're going to say for Hydro Thunder. I know you're going to want to put it in S.
Oh, yeah.
But where would you want to put this guy?
Well, the bias is strong in this one. Yeah, you mean on
This
on
is
like the overall list?
this is our overall, taking the your vote, my vote, and then we'll kind of split the difference.
I wouldn't mind overall probably in B or C.
B or C.
Yeah, how many do we get to
4.
a tier? Set 4 to a tier?
Yep.
I say C.
You're gonna say C?
Yeah, for Mortal Kombat, because it's a fighting game, but that's very
That's fair.
niche.
That's fair.
And,
I can live with that. I'll put it at C as well. Even though it's not my thing, but I see the I can put it there, I think. I'm just looking at the other games there. Yeah. I think. I don't know.
It's kind of rough because I don't, because I'm starting to think like, all right, none of these are bad games, but I don't want to.
I know. I'm going,
Because
well, I'll leave it at C because I'm gonna say D, but because there's no in between, I'll just leave it at C. All right, so Hydro Thunder, you say S. I would have said B, so we'll put it at A.
For the record, none of these games are bad. They're
No.
all...
Yeah, we got to keep. Trust me, I've had to say that a couple times because there's been some lurkers that have popped in going, "Why would you put that there?" It's like, well, hold on, you don't know the context, okay? They're just being ranked amongst themselves, not as individual games. It's where would we rank them amongst these 20 games as a whole? If they were all going against each other, where would they lie? That's all. So,
which is fair.
Yeah.
It's still hard to like, but
yeah.
That's just, I don't know.
So now Einhander. I know you haven't played it, but just from what you were able to see off that clip, where do you think that? Because me, like I said, I would probably say I'd still put it in A. So where would you think that you would put it?
For me personally, I'd probably say.
Now just look at the games, because I know what you're gonna. I know, because trust me, I have to do this. That's why I have to slow down a little bit, because I'm like, I've made mistakes by going, that sounds right, but then I look and go, wait a minute. So just look at the games that it's against. If you were to put it in A, then that would mean that at the very least at this point, there would be only 5 games, 4 ahead of it and 1 tied with it. So actually, now that I say that out loud, I think I might actually go down to B.
Oh man, I'm leaning towards C. Ooh. And I only say that because there are 4 games I'm looking at on the list. It's just like I can't see those below. I can't see those below B. So now I'm trying to but I do. It looks good though. It looks so cool. Okay. I think I would have played it a lot if I had it. But would I have played it more than like Tenchu? Grease.
I'm gonna. I'll do similar to what we did with Mortal Kombat. You're saying C. I'm gonna say B. So I'm gonna leave it at B.
Yeah, B is fine.
Yeah, because I'm just looking. I'm going. I think it'll be okay there.
Yeah.
Tenchu, I gotta play. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, that's another one that I think is super, super good. But I'll wait till we get to it. I don't want to jump ahead.
Just trying to check the chat, seeing if anybody has said anything. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so getting back. So now going back to your list. what would you like to talk about next, and where do you want me to put it on the lovely tier list?
All right, for let's see. I probably played this game the least, but I did enjoy it. That was Ape Escape.
Oh, I knew it. How did I just know? I was sitting there looking. I'm like, it's got to be Ape Escape, because I'm looking at these games going, there ain't no way in hell that he played Crash Team Racing less than Ape Escape.
Yeah, because it's one of those games that I really, if I played it more, I probably would have been more fond of it. But I want to give it its flowers, because the limited time I had with it, I remember it. I was like, oh man, Ape Escape.
So where are we putting this at? D, C?
D.
D.
Definitely D.
Okay, because I had a feeling it was going to be lower, but I'm like, yeah. Okay, fair enough. So give us some stories behind Ape Escape.
The what?
Give us some stories that you had with Ape Escape.
Just kind of like, the first time I played it was over my cousin's house, because my parents, we talked about it before. My parents weren't too fond of video games, but when we did get a chance to play them, I really had to absorb as much as I could with some of them. And this is around the same time with the Dreamcast, so I was the PlayStation was competing for the Dreamcast. But Ape Escape was one of those games. I think it was shared on both platforms, if I'm not mistaken. But the concept, it really kind of, what's the best? It made an impression on me because of how colorful it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't Crash Bandicoot. It wasn't Spyro. It was its own thing, and the character looked so cool.
Yeah, it's got the spiky Japan animation type stuff.
Yeah, so I just think it's one of those things that really appealed to the I guess you could say the innocent child in me.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I really just want this game so bad. And by the time I got around to playing it, I had fun playing it, but by the end it was like 20 other games out. I was like, I mean, Ape Escape is cool, but I'm grown up now. Now I play Tomb Raider or something.
I play grown man games.
Yeah, but it was still cool to me. So I definitely probably say it's just one of those games that in a different timeline, if I had more time with it, I probably would have ranked it higher, because I'd be able to bond with it more. So.
Yeah, this was one I never got to play either. I wanted to, but I just never got around to it, sadly. I mean, that's the case for a lot of games. I missed out on a boatload of different games growing up. That's why, I love emulation, because I'm not a billionaire, so I can't afford to pay for a lot of these games. So,
$200-$300.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna pay $200 for Iron Hunter. No, thank you.
Yeah, maybe when I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams and I somehow rembered it.
Yeah, if I hit the lotto, maybe. But on blue collar money, nah, it ain't happening. But yeah, I mean, I'm when I'm watching the gameplay right now, aesthetically, I get what you're saying. The color palette they used, it looks very vibrant. I can see how it could draw in the children audience for sure. But at the same time, it still looks like something that you could play as a teenager or a young adult or even an adult and still get enjoyment from it. I don't see that there's anything wrong with it, but it definitely, you could tell just from the style, it was probably targeted towards kids more. But
yeah,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, because as we know, there's plenty of games that were targeted towards kids, but we're like, yeah, but it's a good game. So, I mean, I'm sure this falls in the same category.
Yeah, there's tons of games I'll still play as a grown man that are for kids.
Yeah.
They're fun, man. A fun game is a fun game, no matter who it's for.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
And it kind of had that anime aesthetic that I hadn't discovered I was into yet. So I think that's probably another aspect about it that this game provided that I didn't know I was interested in until, I became more familiar with Japan and Japan-specific styles and whatnot.
So Artsy's saying she used to play it, still does. Had Ape Escape 2 on her PS5, haven't finished it yet. And if she likes the game, she'll play it. She said, I don't care if it's for kids or not. Exactly. I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, if it's a fun game, it's a fun game. There's nothing wrong with that. There's like, I don't get why some people, you'll hear it. Some people have those stigmas like, well, that's for little kids. Well, I'm not playing that game. Why? I mean, if it's fun, who cares?
Hey, man, like, this is your loss. You don't like having fun. I don't know what to tell you. I play games for fun. I'm not trying to file my taxes 2024.
We only got 2 votes so far on MK Trilogy, guys, and I see we're at roughly 6 concurrent viewers. I see it go up and down a little bit there, so we're bobbing around there, the 7 to 6 range. So give me a couple more, and then I'll end this one and put up in the chat tier. Where do you guys want it? We got 1 in A, and then 1 it says in C/D. But I don't see anybody in the chat putting where they were wanting it exactly. So I'll leave this up for a little bit longer. And then if we end up with 2 votes, then I guess it's going to I'll just say it's going to sit in B is where it's going to lie.
In the ether.
In the ether. Yeah. All right. So where are we going to put well, I guess, and you put it in D, so I would probably agree with that just because I haven't played it. So it would be like my throwaway vote for something in a lower tier. So if you're good with it being in D, I'm good with it being in D. Okay. All right. So next on my list is going to be... I'm going to talk about... I'm just trying to make sure I'm going to put it in the right spot. I'm going to be talking about Jersey Devil. And this is a platformer that, in my opinion, I don't think gets enough love. And I'm going to put it in B. I can't quite justify putting it in A, but I definitely would put it in B. But I think that it is a game that it surprised the hell out of me when I was a kid, when I first played it. And the clip for this, by the way, is brought to you by, who is it? World of Long Plays. I'm sure most people probably know who that channel that is. Because there's I shouldn't say most, but I know a lot of people, including myself, use their channel for gathering clips. So here we are. So Jersey Devil, again, lovely polygon era. But the mechanics on it I thought were really good. It also helped that it had kind of I don't want to say horror per se, but Halloween-y type feel to it, like, Halloween type vibes. But the mechanics I think were great. This is just one aspect. You're not doing this the whole time. This is just part of a level. But you're going through trying to collect stuff like a typical platformer. Here, I'll kind of skip through a little bit so you can see a little bit more here. Oh, of course. And where I skipped it through, we got an ad. Surprise. Damn you, Ludicrous.
You will not escape the ad.
All right.
Oh, okay. He's like a bunny rabbit.
Yeah. It's like, I don't even know what you would call him. Like, I think they explain what it is. Like, he was like an experiment or some crap like that from this doctor. Because I'm trying to remember the backstory because it's been a while since I played it all the way through, and I'm currently playing it right now. But you're trying to play and you're trying to go against like this doctor, and one of his minions is like a pumpkin head looking person, like who you're fighting. Well, this person's fighting against here. And you're traversing through all these different maps, and again, it's lovely polygon 3D era, but the way it was delivered, again, it was right up my alley as far as the animation style. And it was almost like it's like the hybrid of Medieval and Blasto. So like Medieval is like 100% like the cartoon horror type aspect goth look, and Blasto was like similar but more futuristic, where this is like, I kind of feel it's like a combination of the two. It's that gothic animation style mixed in with a little bit of futuristic type stuff, and it just, to me, it just vibed so well. And again, it for me, again, it hits the nostalgia for like all those things I liked as a kid. And when I played it, it just, and even still, like when I was playing it, because now that I got the baby, I have my laptop sitting next to me on the couch. And if he's taking a nap, I'm just sitting there playing games on the couch, waiting for him to wake up, you know? And I'll just be sitting there and I'm playing this and I'm like, it just takes me right back. This is one of those games where I can literally remember where, because like I originally, like where I got it, I didn't buy it. A buddy of mine gave it to me. He just didn't want it anymore. He's like, yeah, I beat it a few times. I'm good. You can have it. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And I was like, well, I can just borrow it. And he goes, no, you can have it. I just said, okay. So
take it off.
Yeah. And I can't. The only thing that I would say is kind of wonky with it, that if you were to go in blind and play it, with a lot of these games, because analog sticks were new, remember this, folks. So the right stick did not work like the camera. I think it might have on some games, but for the most part, like this one, you use one of the R buttons, just one of them. You don't even use like one of the L buttons. It's just one of the R buttons to rotate it, and it just goes like in that pattern, like you're seeing. So it's a little clunky from the camera controlling aspect, but other than that, I really think it was a good presentation and a game that I just personally don't think it gets enough credit, I guess you could say. And it just doesn't get, I don't hear enough people talking about it. I guess when you hear about the 3D platformers of the day, I don't really hear much of anybody talk about Jersey Devil at all.
Well, that's an interesting name. I'll say that much. Because I've never heard of or seen this game before. Was this early in the PlayStation?
This was, I want to say it was 97. Might have been 97 or 98, one of the two. I want to say, I'm trying to think when did I play it? So I would have been, so it would have been somewhere between somewhere between 97 and 98, because I know I was in the 7th grade when I played it. So yeah, I was somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, like I kind of skipped through real quick, just kind of show you some different, so you're not just seeing the same boss battle, but seeing some of the other aesthetics that they have, so you can see, like, yeah, I know some people are gonna look and go like, God, you can see the lines and some of the like textures and stuff. It's like, yeah, but you know, it's kind of
that was what do you call it?
That's its charm.
Yeah, it's a charm. Because it didn't bother us back then. It was like everybody wasn't like a stickler for graphics back then.
No,
it was just like, wow, I can move in 3 dimensions, and that's incredible.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
More.
There were some bad. Yeah, there were some bad looking games, but I wouldn't put this in that category.
No, it was a good presentation. I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely something that I would suggest playing. If you are into platformers, I would totally say go out of your way to play some Jersey Devil. It'll be frustrating at first because, again, you're trying to get used to not only moving him in 3D, but when you're doing certain platform jumps and stuff like that, and you're trying to time out the gaps, you know what I mean? Like how far you have to go, like say if you're going forward, similar to Crash Bandicoot, you know what I mean? Like when you're trying to jump certain gaps and you can't really tell until you've done it enough, and you're like, okay, I kind of know how long I should be holding on the up arrow for, so that way you don't fall down into the pit or overshoot your jump and stuff like that. But overall, I mean, I would say that you'll enjoy it. I don't see why not. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
You said it was called Jersey Devil?
Jersey Devil, yeah. And if you want to buy the complete in the box, I believe the last time I checked, it was like $70 or something like that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah. So where would you want to put this on our list?
I'd probably put it because I feel like if it was like, in my line of play, it'd probably in C or D.
C or D.
It probably would have fell in between the cracks for a lot of the other games I'm playing, especially compared to the games on this list. Yeah, probably. I'd probably say D.
Just trying to look at. I'm going between C and D just because I know these other games. I'm going. Shit. This is pulling teeth here. Because I'm just trying to think. I'm like, is it? Because if I put it in D, that means I'm saying that it's only better, or it's like, you know, there's only one other game that it would like tie with, and then everything else is better than it. But if I can say it's better than 2 games on this, then so it makes it tough. Because of course, you know, like I said, looking at the platformers, we got Crash, Spyro, Medieval's technically a platformer. Yeah. And so is Ninja. I'm gonna.
That's kind of tough.
And some of the other games on there. Oh, I guess I'll be okay with D.
Well, once we get to the end, do you think we'll be able to rearrange a few of them, or once they're down, that's it?
Well, the fun part is once they're down, then we can regret at the end.
Well, yeah, that is fun, I guess.
Yeah, because that's usually what happens every single time. It's like, you know, because in my mind, because I'm just looking at this list and I'm going, now granted, I know you would not agree with me on there's a couple games on here that I would put in D before Jersey Devil, and I know the chat would probably scream mutiny if I said the names, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. So hang in there with us, and then you'll be able to hear my nonsense as to what games I think are lesser than Jersey Devil. But of course, it's personal preference, so it doesn't mean it's fact. It's just myself.
It's a subjective list.
Correct.
Because there's somebody out there that thinks, what's a horrible game? What is a terrible, no good game? That Drake and the 99 Dragons. Somebody out there that thinks that game is the best thing since sliced bread, and I would not argue with them because it'd be a waste of time.
So I put MK Trilogy at B for the chats because nobody else voted on it. So there was one for A and one for D. So I put it in B. So now I gotta make the next one up for him. All right, so I got the next poll up for you guys to vote on for Einhander. Where do you guys want that on your guys' list here? So remember, you only got 2 more slots. 2 more slots for A, 2 more slots for B. And it's completely open on S, completely open on C, and completely open on D. Okay, so getting back while they're voting on that. Immortal, what do you want to talk about next, and where do you want me to put it on the tier list?
Okay, I need to get some spaces for B and C. I would probably put See, the next game that I didn't have that much time with is technically Tekken 2.
Tekken 2? And you want that at D? Is that what you said?
No, I don't want it. I don't want it at D, but I did have the least amount of time playing it because the circumstances for which me and my brothers could play it were the those old demo discs.
Oh, I see.
I'd probably put it at hold on. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Well, hold on. I want to make sure because I feel like I'm getting close to a mistake. I am
trust
getting
me,
very close.
mistakes will always be made.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure I make the right
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah.
Oh, let's see. Let's put it in C.
B?
C.
C.
As in,
Okay.
yeah,
All
cat.
right, we're in C.
Because
Okay.
it normally would be higher, but the thing that saves it from D is that intro.
Okay.
The intro is too good. But I didn't become a Tekken guy technically until Tekken 6. I played the hell out of Tekken 2, but you know. But yeah, definitely C.
So, believe it or not, even though like I wasn't really big into fighting games, I played the original Tekken and Tekken 3. When Tekken 3 came out, I actually did really enjoy that game. As hard as it was, I did enjoy that. I think I probably honestly played Tekken 3 more than I ever played any other traditional fighting game outside of the Fight Night franchise. I think that Tekken 3 was probably that, and maybe Soul Calibur 2. I know that one I played a lot of as well, but the first Tekken, I played the crap out of that game. I never played 2, but I can't even remember who was like. I don't think I ever had a go-to character. I think I liked each of them for various reasons, but I definitely liked the elements, like just like how things, the movements and stuff on it. It was just different. I don't know. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and it is one of those games that have a long-standing legacy. I think Tekken has the Guinness World Record for like the longest video game storyline, consistent storyline
Really?
of all time. Yep, it's very surprising. Now, it's a little contentious because, excuse me, like elements of the. Hold on.
Don't choke on me.
No, sorry. Try not to.
You're good.
Voice is like, but elements of the game are a little, the story is kind of hit and miss. Some things are constantly changing, rec times, and so some people think that kind of disqualifies it. But it is technically one of the longest, running single storylines in all of gaming, like the Mishima storyline, and it's still going on to this day. Like Tekken 7 just came out earlier this year, and it's still
crazy.
Kazuya fighting his dad,
It's still the same thing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, fighting game stories have never really been about much.
Yeah.
But
I will say I used to
like,
actually like that. I really did. Like I used to like Street Fighter 2. I remember as a kid having the Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition for the Genesis, and I would read the little bios of the people, like to get their little backstories, and then when you beat the game and you got to see like the little ending of whatever happened after you beat Bison, like I thought that was pretty cool. Like, and I actually enjoyed that, and it made me want to play the game more, because because like the first time I ever beat Street Fighter 2, I had to like nerf it and put it on like one of the easier settings. Then I finally worked my way up to at least like the standard difficulty. But then once you beat it, you actually get the true endings to stuff. And once I noticed that, I was like, oh my God, and it made me want to play as these other characters because I wanted to see what their endings were. So I can speak for myself there and say that I personally enjoy a good little story arc that's mixed in there.
Yeah.
I know you're like, nah.
Well, I mean, I think that's good because it gives you more things to do.
Yeah.
Like unlocking characters and seeing, let's say if you have a favorite character, see what their fate is in the story.
Yeah.
Of course, my favorite fighting game of all time was Dead or Alive, but that game I think had a better presentation for like storytelling. But Tekken, there's a lot of cool aspects about that game, like King, like his whole story is like he has like he runs an orphanage, and later in the game he dies, and he's survived by one of the orphans who wears a king mask and learns how to speak Jaguarese. I guess I don't know. It's crazy.
And he just growls. "Rawr."
Yeah. Like, all right. Would you like fries with that? All right, pull around.
We only got one vote for Einhander right now, and it's either C or D. I'm going to assume D just because nobody said anything. So remember, you guys got, let's see, let's go back. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. All right, so you guys have 2 slots for A, 2 slots for B. It's open S, C, and D. Just to show you guys again where you're at. So I personally would have I'd probably put Tekken 2 and D for ours. Where would you want to put it? Because I know you said C, but I know it's different when you see our full list because it's going up against different games. But I personally would put it here.
I wouldn't be opposed to putting it in D.
Okay, so our D slots are now filled up. Yeah, I'm looking at these games. I'm going, that feels right. Because I don't see any of these other games deserving to be down there.
Yeah.
Except for, well, I take it back. I mean, there is one. But again, when I say it, when we get to it, people are going to go, you think Jersey Devil's better than that? You're an idiot. And I'm going to go, hey, hear me out here. I mean, I love the game, but if I had to pick between the two, I would probably play Jersey Devil first. Because, again, my personal favorite games, I love platformers. I enjoy them. It's like they're good to unwind on, you know. I don't know. I just like to me it's like I guess they're the type of games I like to play when I'm just trying to chill, but I'm wanting to play something. And they have challenges to them, but it's not like I'm gritting my teeth like getting frustrated, you know what I mean? I'm able to muster through and figure out whatever it is I got to do without completely losing my mind.
Yeah. Which, you know, I definitely get.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, hey, I totally understand. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, so you still only one vote. All right, guys. I guess I'll put Iron Hunter in. I'll just put it in D, which is. I feel it's just like blasphemy. Like, I would have at least been okay with C, but.
I think we should once we get a more lively chat to redo that that tier list.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll end that one and start up. What was one of the other ones that we didn't get? They don't have Ape Escape. Okay, so let's give them Ape Escape.
Ape with the apes.
All right, so there, you guys got Ape Escape now you can vote on. Or one person can vote on. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So,
Time will tell.
That being said, okay, so we are back to me. Okay, so we're gonna go. This is it. Twisted Metal 2. And people they're about to lose their minds on where I'm gonna put it, but I have to, based off of the games that are available. I'm like, it's not better than any of the other games. It's going in D. I don't think it's better than Ninja. I don't think it's better than Mega Man Legends. I don't think it's better than Legends of Legaia or Crash Bandicoot or Medieval. I just don't. And I know there's some people that are going to be like, what the? And start, yeah. And it's not better than the other games, in my opinion. It's not, I mean, granted, I guess when it comes to shoot 'em ups, there's a lot of people that do not like shoot 'em ups whatsoever. So I guess if you don't like shoot 'em ups, I could see the argument that maybe Twisted Metal 2 would be better than that as far as Einhander goes, or Einhander. But I don't think it's better than Jersey Devil, and I don't think it's better than Vagrant Story at all. Not saying it's a bad game. I put it on here because I do enjoy it. But if you were to ask me if I thought it was better than any of those, no, I do not. But to talk about the positives, let's talk about why I love this game. And I did play it a lot growing up. A buddy of mine actually got me on it years and years ago, and the game footage is going to be brought to us by Kawaii Games. Oh, yeah. And hopefully we don't get no stinking ads. All right.
Browser.
But again, like, I'm not big on racing games, but because like before I played it, my buddy was like, "Oh, he's like, yeah, it's so good, blah blah." And I was like, "Well, what do you do?" Because I didn't know what it was. And he's like, "Oh, you drive around," and he was already losing me because I was like, "Oh, we're driving around." I'm like, "Doing what?" And he's like, "But you're shooting and you're trying to kill each other." I was like, "Oh, well, that's different, you know." I mean, granted, yeah, we played Mario Kart, but you're trying to just kill each other, like that's the object. And he's like, "Yeah." So I was like, "So it's technically not racing. You're driving, but you're not racing." So I'm like, "Okay, I might be able to get behind this." And then when I played it, oh man, yeah, I was hooked. I ain't gonna lie. I can remember sitting there for hours playing this game, trying to beat it, and it is very challenging too. If somebody out there has not played Twisted Metal at all, it's definitely challenging. But
yeah,
what do you think?
I can see the appeal that this game garnered. Like, this game definitely had a cult following for sure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't a part of that. You know, I wish I was, but truth is, like, I just never really got a chance to really just play it. I always wanted to play it because it looked so cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
this would definitely be a great multiplayer game, like couch co-op. Yeah.
And that's kind of how I thought of it when I hear people talk about it, because they all spoke so highly of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Twisted Metal 2 was like the best one compared to all of them. And then there was a whole controversy with Twisted Metal Black, and then I think they had a TV show recently that
the TV show's actually really good. I like it. I thought it was pretty good. I know some people thought it sucked, but I actually thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, see, the only thing I knew about it is that Samoa Joe was in there. Yeah, he played
Sweet Tooth. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
But other than that, like, I think I would have enjoyed it. I want to say I might have played a demo of this, but again, it barely registers on the radar outside of the name. Because I definitely know what it is. I can't say I played it enough to be like, oh yeah, Twisted Metal, I was totally a part of that. That wave. Like, nah. I wish I was, but
Oh yeah.
Well.
But it was definitely different from anything I had played at the time, and oops, I had to keep doing that. There we go. But yeah, it's definitely, I think it aged well. Again, someone's going to argue like graphics, right? Because there's a lot of people that get hung up on graphics, but I think the actual overall gameplay, I think it definitely has aged well. And it's one that I went to, I started up a file for doing the retro achievements and stuff, and yeah, I found myself getting sucked right back into it again. And another thing too, like with this one, is it's got that nostalgia factor for me, because I can remember verbatim like where I was at when I first started playing this, other places I was at when this game was being played, and the original Twisted Metal. There was a couple neighborhood kids I knew that had them, and it was a big deal when the first time that anybody that we knew actually beat it. The first time they beat it was with Mr. Grimm, and then figuring out, I believe he's actually Death, if I recall correctly, his backstory, like he's actually the Grim Reaper. I'm pretty positive. Like I said, it's been a while, but I remember when we first seen that, like his ending and stuff like that, like we were like, what the hell? Like it was just like crazy, you know, like it blew our minds. Because again, you got to remember this was before the heyday of the internet being what it is now, so we couldn't get on to see what all the answers were for each character. You had to beat the game in order to get that closure, and I'll be honest, I kind of missed that. Because you can just jump online and be like, yeah, I'll just get the spoilers instead of doing all the work. And
there was a way to look at somebody's authenticity.
Yeah.
And I played it. Like, no, you watched it. You didn't play it.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at you because the internet. It's the internet.
Yeah.
What, you gotta not look at it,
right?
Unless you're like super into it, in which case, yeah, I don't have to worry about it. But if you're like, you know, kind of running and passing, you're not gonna play the whole game and just to say you were there.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing is like I can remember when the first time it got beat, it was me. Gosh, I want to say there was like 5 or 6 of us just sitting there watching this one dude that we hung around. He was older than me, but I remember we were just kind of like sitting there in awe, just waiting because we knew he was like getting really close to beating it. And like I said, up to this point, none of us have beaten it. So we were just like, it was just, you know, it's one of those things that you take for granted nowadays. It's just the whole aspect of watching somebody do it because nobody else in the neighborhood has done it. And we're just all like, it's like an event, you know what I mean? It's just, God, stuff like that I miss. I do.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Because and it kind of goes back to the couch co-op thing. It's like that everything just kind of culminated in a perfect way where everyone was present.
Yep.
Everyone was there rooting for you, and we all shared in the experience.
Yep.
So it wasn't so isolated.
Yeah,
like
even though we weren't playing it, it was like, but we weren't playing it, but like you say, it's like, but we were experiencing it. Like we're like, holy crap, here we go. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see the ending finally. You know, we've been trying to beat this game for however long, and one of us is finally gonna do it, and we're ready for it. And it was a good time. And then of course, like I said, similar to me with Street Fighter, seeing that first initial ending, then it's like, okay, now I got to get better with somebody else because I want to see somebody else's ending and see what's going on.
Yeah, like, especially if they do something, or if you see one character that shows up in another ending of another character, it's like, what did he?
Yeah, it's what's he doing? But yeah, it's like, yeah. It's a lot, man. Yeah, God, just talking about this stuff, it's just. I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's nerding out." You're damn right I am. I can't help it. Yes, I am. Okay, yeah, I am nerding out, and I love it.
You had to be there. I'm sorry you guys weren't born yet, but you just had to be there.
Yeah, man. Oh, like I had some of my experiences like that as well. Oh, I just now seen that Artsy had to take off because I know it's late on her, and she's like 8 hours ahead of us. So I know it's pretty late. There's Frank. What up, Frank? Better late than never, brother. But we still got plenty more to talk about, so you can vote on our lovely games here. We got 3 votes for Ape Escape right now. We got 1 for A, 2 for B, and yeah, I don't know if you've ever played Ape Escape or not, Frank, but you can feel free to put your vote on there. And if you want to see, I'll show you here. There you go. Yeah, don't freak out, guys, if you see Immortal's screen go black. It's not because of him. It's because it's on the same monitor as what I got certain tabs up on, and I got to minimize them so that way it's not covering them up. But this is your guys's current ranking stuff right now, your tier list. So you got Vagrant Story, Hydro Thunder at A, Blasto and MK Trilogy at B, Einhander at D, because only 1 vote for it, and they didn't specify in the chat if it was C or D, so I just threw it at D. But the rules, if you did not know, Frank, 'cause I can't recall if you dropped in on some of the other ones we did, you guys have 4 games per slot. So you got 4 for S, 4 for A, 4 for B, et cetera, et cetera. So you only got 2 more slots for A and B, 3 slots for the D category, and then it's all open for S and C. So that's what I keep doing, is putting the polls up. Excuse me, so that way you guys can vote on where you want the games to be. Give you guys a little more interaction, if you will. All right. So we're gonna carry on. I'll say Ape Escape is gonna sit in B. It's got 2 for B and 1 for A, so I'm gonna say that's gonna sit in B for the chat. Oh, he said, shoot, I'm picking Metal Gear Solid as top tier. Well, good. That's what I like to hear. All right. So,
Metal Gear.
Which that is a great game. It is a great game. So I'm trying to see real quick. Tekken 2 is one that the chat hasn't voted on yet. All right. So I'm going to end this one, and I'm going to throw up Tekken 2 for you guys next to vote on. All right. There you guys go. All right. So now,
past Metal Gear.
So what do we got? Oh wait, well first off, I guess Twisted Metal, where are we going to put it on ours? Twisted Metal 2. So I'm going to say C, because we can't put it in D, and I know you're kind of like on the meh side of it, so I'm good with it being in C as well. But if it was up to me, I would put Jersey Devil up there and then put Twisted Metal 2 down there. But it's okay. I can live with this. I'm not going to have a heart attack. My heart's a little hurt, but it's okay. I'll live at the end of the day.
Survivor.
That's right. So, that being said, Immortal, what are we going to talk about next, and where would you like me to put it on the tier list?
Let's see. I'm thinking I just want to, fill out the whole thing and then just go back and do the rest. I want to pick a B.
You're gonna pick a
solid
B.
B.
Solid B game. What do we got?
Let's see. B. Tenchu. Stealth Assassins. I'll put that in.
You're gonna put that in B. I know we'll sit there for now. I'll let you think real quick before you say just check out the games you got. You got to remember, because you got 2 slots for SA. So if you put it in B, that means there's 2 games that are better than it.
We gotta go in D.
And then one of these got to go in the D category. Think about that. Which one? Do any of these games for you feel like they need to go in the D? So there is one.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know which one's gonna go there, and it's okay because it's still a good game. But we'll get there.
Yeah, and I have a story for why.
Okay.
So I think I'm good. Tenchu, Stealth Assassins for B.
For B? All right, cool. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about it and why you like it.
Well, this was the second Ninja game, the first 3D Ninja game that I really got into, and the second Ninja game overall that I played. Because, Shinobi on the Sega Genesis was my first, introduction into like ninja type games.
Yeah.
And Tenchu was probably one of the first where I was very into the story and the characters, like Ayame and Rikimaru. Like, this game kind of came off as more grown up, so I felt like I had to, I felt like I had to be more mature playing it. and for the time, I really appreciated the attention to detail that this game had. You could sneak around enemies and NPCs. You had to actually sneak past them, and that was, I don't want to say it was groundbreaking, but it felt very real to me. Like I
Yeah.
had to sneak into a compound and not get noticed, and I had to really take advantage of my ninja skills and my tools and stuff. And it was really cool that I don't think many other games capture this type of aesthetic
Like
these
similar to the
days.
Metal Gear games, like when you're, like I can, cause like I told you, I never got to play Tenchu, but I'm just trying to compare to try to think of how the gameplay is for myself. Like with Metal Gear, when you were knocking on walls to bring people, like to divert their attention, like I thought that was wild. Like what? Like that's just a crazy, like the simplest thing, but it was just a dynamic that you didn't think you could, trying to use it from a stealth standpoint to be like, yeah, I'm going to knock on this wall. It's going to take them to whatever side I'm knocking on. Then I can run around, come up from behind, and then break their neck. Like, stuff like yeah. And
Yeah,
if this is
and
like that, then I could totally get behind it.
yeah, because even though Metal Gear was, I guess you could say it was more popular. I'm not sure about at the time. I'm pretty sure it was because it Metal Gear had everything Tenchu had, but it was more, storyline driven.
Okay.
And Tenchu, I think it's similar, but it was in the style of old ninjas instead of in Metal Gear where you sneak around and shoot
Espionage
and
and
all
all
that
that
good stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're very similar in that scope, but I appreciate the elements that Tenchu brought over something like Metal Gear. But I did like Metal Gear a lot. It's
Yeah.
not, I played it a little later, but I have to give props to Metal Gear for really being the breakout.
Like
But
this is
Tenchu was
nasty. I'm
different.
watching this, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but just watching this and just trying to watching how they're methodically playing through and killing these guys. It is pretty badass looking. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm getting into it. Like yeah, this is definitely something I could see myself getting into.
Yeah, and when the game progressed, like the sequel on the PlayStation 2, it took everything this game had and really expanded upon it in a really unique way that I think is almost a lost art when it comes to franchises as they grow over time. And it was really good, especially like playing with Ayame. She was like really fun to play with. She had the double daggers
Okay.
and sneaking around. It was just really fun. Since she was a one of a kind of game that it survived by what's that From Software game? The one with the I think it's the White Wolf. I hate when I like as soon as yeah, I have the name of the game, but as soon as I want to say it, it's like,
No,
oh
I
well,
get
it's
it. No,
gone.
I've done that. Yeah. I do it with a lot of things. I contribute that to just getting older. I think our brains are just rotting.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you wanted to say
Uh,
that, did you? Well,
yeah.
too bad.
And
Now
then
you'll just sit here and sound like you don't know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Like,
and then an
oh my,
hour after the fact, and go, and there it is. Oh, why couldn't I think of that when I was wanting to talk about it?
yeah, because like
Yeah,
I see it. I'm looking
yeah,
at the guy, the case of the game. It's like, yeah, you can see everything except the word and the list. Sekiro,
yep.
Sekiro. Jeez. Yeah, so Sekiro is survived by, or Tenchu is survived by Sekiro.
Okay.
So, because I think they said they wanted to make a new Tenchu, but since a lot of the Tenchu guys left From Software,
Hmm.
they said they didn't. It didn't feel right for them to continue trying to make a game without the guys who brought it to life. So they just decided to make their own new IP
Okay.
called Sekiro, which is very respectful. I'm glad that they did that because the Tenchu franchise did not end on a high note.
No.
So
How many games were in the franchise?
I want to say about 4.
Wow.
Because the Tenchu Z, I think, was the last one on the Xbox 360 that a lot of people didn't appreciate. And then they had a Wii version that everyone just kind of ignored. It went the way of the gimmick. Yeah, use your Wiimote to sneak up. Like, yeah, it's not Tenchu anymore.
Oh,
Like,
I
it's
see.
just Tenchu in name only.
Yeah.
well. But I think the first two everyone remembers fondly. I didn't play Tenchu Z, but yeah. You can fight dogs too. That's pretty cool.
Why does this thing keep deleting the chat? It's like it keeps disconnecting for some reason. Why is it disconnecting from you guys? So we got 2 votes for Tekken 2 right now. 1 for A and 1 for B. So I'd like to get just at least one more vote out of you guys, so we got a tiebreaker here and see where we're going to be putting this at on your guys' tier list. So even if you don't want to personally partake in the chat talking, still would like your participation in voting, so that way you guys can make your list. Because this is where your guys' list is right now, the chat. And you guys are voting on Tekken 2 right now. And currently, it looks like it's going to be dropping into the B category. And if it goes into B, that's your guys' last B slot. And then all you'll have left is S, A, C, and D. So please vote where you guys would like to see that. And in the meantime, Tenchu. So where would you want to put this on our list for the 20 games?
Probably for this list. Definitely not an S or A. So it'd have to be B or C. And compared to some of these other titles on here,
just to make it easier on yourself, to keep it out of C, do you see it being better than at least 2 of the games down there? I can see myself saying it's at the very least better than 1. Possibly 2.
I'm starting to regret Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Man. Well, okay. Let's say, I want to say B is fair.
I can live with that, because I'm just trying to think. There's one. I'd say possibly 2. Oh man, what would be the other game? Well, I'm okay with leaving it at B. Even though I haven't played it, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I feel like putting it in C would make things difficult going further.
All right, well, I'm putting Tekken 2 at B for the chat's stuff, since no one else voted on it. Now I'm going to make up a new poll for them. We're going to go with Jersey Devil, since that one's not up there yet. Oh wait, no, they don't get a B. That's right. They get C's and D's. That's it. All right, because their B category is completely filled up, which I'm actually surprised they voted Blasto so high. I mean, not saying it's a bad game, but just with what we had, I thought it was going to be either in C or possibly D. It's a crying shame that Einhander's down there at D. But it's all right. That's what they wanted. Yeah. That's what they wanted. That's their list.
Know, well, yeah, I guess.
Okay. So now going back to myself here, I'm gonna go with Ninja Shadow of Darkness, and I am going to put that in C. And have you played that game at all?
Ninja Shadow of Darkness? No, I have not.
Well, the irony is it's very similar to Tenchu. Like when I was watching it, I was like, wow, this looks eerily similar to Ninja Shadow of Darkness. And I do think it's a great game. It's very, very difficult, at least in my opinion. I thought it was pretty hard. It took me a very long time to beat it. I don't even know if I could beat it now. It would probably take me a while. Dang it. I must have accidentally deleted the tab. Now I got to find it real quick. Okay. So this one's going to be, since it's at the top of the list, also by Kawaii Games.
Yeah, I want to see what it looks like.
You're going to see it and go, oh yeah, this looks like, it looks similar to Tenchu. There we go. But there's different, they got a little bit of, I not want to say puzzle aspects, but there's certain stuff that it's not just cut and dry, just going through and doing certain things. And they got different traps that you got to watch out for, like swinging logs that come out of nowhere. So you got to look for like trip lines and stuff like that. It can be a very frustrating game at certain points in time. You could say it's more hack and slash, like it's not quite as stealthy as Tenchu, but you do have to be stealthy in certain regards.
Yeah, it looks kind of arcadey.
Yes.
Looks good though.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad game. It is tough. Like I said, it is difficult. At least I felt like it was. I don't know. You guys in the chat, if you've ever played Ninja Shadow of Darkness, you can tell me if you felt like it was difficult or not. I would say on the grand scheme of things, as far as the amount of games that I have ever played, this would be probably in my upper tier of difficulty. Like it doesn't start off super hard, but once you start getting into the meat and potatoes of it, it's like it seems like the difficulty goes up pretty quick as far as how they got the different platforming aspects laid out and certain stuff that you got to do. It can be frustrating. Like right up there, like it blends into the graphics, but there's bear traps right there that you can just barely see the spikes coming out of the ground. But if you're not paying attention, it's like you're gonna, and like that, like spears are just dropping from the sky because he probably hit one of the trip lines, and like there's all kinds of stuff that yeah,
that is, you can barely see those. Holy smoke.
Yeah. Because I know you're seeing like a little bit of a delay. So, but you've seen the bear traps I was talking about, right? Like you can just barely see the spikes. Like, I mean, they blend in with the grass, and just like if you're not paying attention, you're gonna get nailed by them every time.
I like how muscly these characters.
Oh yeah, they got them like they are jacked. They are straight jacked.
I was like, wow, this guy.
Muscles on muscles. Right. Oh gosh. But overall, I think it's a great game, and one that, I mean, if you like Tenchu, you'll enjoy that. I'm certain of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good. He said Ninja Master of Stealth.
Ninja Shadow of Darkness. So Ninja Shadow of Darkness. I'm sure you'll probably be good with it being in C.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm just trying to think. Cause I'm looking at the other games and I'm going, I can't justify putting it in B. But I can definitely. It does not deserve to be in D, but I can definitely. It's cool. I'm cool with it being in C, based off the other games that are available.
Yeah, I'd say so. Round out C.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what the chat's got going on. What they vote on. Jersey Devil D. Damn. Is that Frank? Frank, you messing with me? Putting Jersey Devil in D? How dare you? I'll just lay a couple more minutes, see if you guys want to vote on Jersey Devil. And if it's only going to have that one vote for D, I guess that's where it's going to go. So, yeah. All right, so in the meantime, go back to Immortals list. So what do we got? We got left is Spyro, Siphon Filter, Crash Team Racing, Tomb Raider, and Metal Gear Solid.
Well, for good old D, not because it's bad, but because I enjoyed watching this game more than I did playing it. Because, I was younger, and for whatever reason, this game just eluded me. But my older brother, this was probably more his cup of tea.
Okay.
I liked watching him play it because when he played it, he was able to progress the story so we could see what's going on. And just as a side weird quirky thing, that game introduced I learned the word improvise. I learned what that word meant playing this game.
And what is that?
The word improvise.
No,
there's a cut.
Let's say, what's the game?
Oh, Siphon Filter.
Siphon Filter. So where's this one going?
D.
D. Okay.
Because it's pretty funny. This is where the game really threw me off because I learned what the word meant after the fact, but I first heard it in this game. And Logan, I think that's the name of the main character, he walks in the room and he talks over the intercom to his contact, and she's like, "Logan, so and so is doing something over here. You're gonna have to find a way to sneak over." And he says, "I'll improvise." And I could never get past that part because I was like, I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to do? And Siphon Filter is like a sneaking game, kind of like Metal Gear Solid,
right?
Except more actiony. And I could never figure out what the hell to do. And it frustrated the hell out of me because our parents would only give us so much time to play games.
Yeah.
And I stupidly chose that game because I was having fun. This was as far as I got in this game back then. Because I just like shooting a few guys you come across and using a taser and set them on fire for 30 minutes. That was great. I love that. But once I got to the part where you got into the building, I wonder if he's gonna get there because it looks familiar, like he's getting close. He has to go into the building, and what you're supposed to do is sneak up, grab a ledge, and shimmy around to get up to the next level and climb through a door. Oh yeah, he has. Okay, I thought he had the the taser. The taser is amazing in this game.
Just start tasing people.
Yeah, and you could hold the taser, and they would just keep frying until they catch on fire. And so what me and my brother would do is just watch a guy cook for 10 minutes, just to see what would happen.
It's catching on fire.
Yeah. Then they stop screaming, and I'm like, man, this is kind of messed up. but yeah, so I could never figure this game out, but my brother, he was able to figure it out. So I just watched him play since he was better at understanding what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, this was one I missed out on as well. My buddy played it, he beat it, he loved it, and I was going to play it, and then I don't recall what happened to the game because I can't remember. I think maybe he borrowed it from somebody is what it was. And that's why I never played it because I didn't have the money to get it, but it definitely intrigued me. And because he was actually, now Frank is still with us. I know he says Metal Gear Solid for him is going to go in S tier, but my buddy told me that he actually liked this better than Metal Gear Solid. And he was like, "Oh, if you like Metal Gear, dude, you're going to love this." I'm like, "Oh, all right, cool." But I just never got around to playing it. And it's one that I do, I look forward to trying to give her a test run and see how it plays out. And at least from what I'm looking at it, it's like you said, it seems like it's more action oriented because he's just running around straight through stuff as stuff's going on. And it's not sneaky as much as Metal Gear was, but it definitely looks like something that I could totally get into for sure.
Yeah, and it's one of those games that I wish kind of took off because Logan would have been right up there with Sam Fisher and Snake with in regards to the tactical espionage or sneaking types.
He said Siphon Filter is mid to Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the honest truth because I don't think I don't think Siphon Filter got out of PlayStation 6th gen. I don't think it got it. No, not 6th gen, 5th gen. I don't recall there being a Siphon Filter 2. If there was,
Yeah, I think there was 3, if I remember right. I know there was at least 2, but
mm,
there might have been 3. I could be wrong, but I thought that there was a third one. I know there's at least
yeah,
2, though. I do know that. There's at least 2 of them.
yeah. So I'd probably say, yeah, it's earned. I have a lot of good memories, but most of those memories are watching my brother play, and that's why it's like I remember it so vividly.
So I guess this is
But
going to go into C category for us.
yeah,
Man, I'm seeing Jersey Devil down there. It's like, it still just bothers me. I'm going, damn it. That's all right.
or like just next time you do a stream, like oh we're gonna do a complete playthrough of Jersey Devil
Yeah.
because
Yeah. No, I mean that's good. That's good though. All right, I'm gonna get back to the chat. Let's see what you guys got going on for us. What you guys got cooking. Okay. So Frank said, yeah, he thinks there's 3 siphon filters as well. Yeah, I thought that's what it is. 2 votes for D for Jersey Devil. Man, you guys are haters. Oh man.
you gotta punish them with like a long player Jersey Devil.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. All right, that's fine though. It could be one of those things too. Is maybe they see some of the games on there that maybe they've never played it. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they
Yeah,
didn't play it and they see some of these other games and they're like, well, that's gonna be my throwaway vote just to put something down in the D category. But
yeah.
or they might think it sucks. But you know.
Well, I just haven't. I've never played it. If I had known about it, I think I would have played it. It just the timing is very sensitive for me because my parents were like, "You only get this
Yeah.
much time, and we're gonna tell you no most of the time anyway." I was like, "These games gotta count, like for
Oh
real."
yeah.
So
Okay. So there you go. Guys got Ninja Shadow of Darkness. You guys can vote on that now. Okay. So now got that taken care of. And if you guys haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button for us. Even if you don't want to subscribe before you take off this evening, it helps us get eyes on the channel and other people that might want to hang out with us in the chat to try to interact with us to get these games ranked up. So next up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, just wanted to make sure I wasn't going out of order. So next on my list, oh man, I still haven't put one in the S category yet because I'm still like, I'm trying. Like it's in my, dude, my head is just like, I'm racked right now. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go. Legend of Legaia, easy S for me. That's an easy S. I can get that one out of the way.
JRPG.
Yes. Yeah. Fantastic game. And if you have not played it, you Immortal or anybody in the chat, it was very, very well put together. And this one's brought to you by Media Pool on the Tubes of You. And that out of the way. So you guys will see the battle mechanics. It was fighting elements, and you use different directions like for combos, and that's how you. That was the cool thing about it, because again, before the internet, you would either have to buy a strategy guide, or in this case, like what I had to do as a kid, is I had to organically unlock the moves by just figuring out the different combinations by doing like up, left, right, down, whatever. And then it would be like, something you unlock this move, and then it would be a part of your list library that you could do for the rest of the game. But it was so well put together. I liked the speed of it. I should say, let me rephrase this. I like the speed overall, but there are times that I do feel that there's a lot of time wasted in battle when you're like waiting. If that makes any sense, like it's like the progression through the battles, it seems to linger at times when you're like trying to grind and stuff, and it takes a lot of time when you're in that grinding aspect of an RPG. And if for those that might not know what I'm talking about, if you had never played an RPG, typically you get to a point in the game where you just have to sit there and keep fighting over and over again to get your characters a higher level to continue progressing, because typically that just happens to be the case. Now, off the top of my head, I know there's probably been some RPGs where I hadn't had to grind so much that it just me just organically playing through, it was able to keep up with the levels of difficulty. But this was one that you get to a point or two where you'll have to grind for a little bit to try to get stronger as you go to try to progress. But I thought it was a cool aspect, and at this point in time, this was another game that I played while it was in its cycle. So I played it when it was brand new, and I never played an RPG like this, and I think this was the first RPG that had elements like this in there, and it was something that I really enjoyed. And similar to you, Immortal, the art style, I was really huge into anime as a kid growing up, so I really dug the art style and how everything was presented, so that definitely helped as well. But it's a lengthy one. I want to say it takes about 30 hours to beat, if I remember right. Somewhere between 20 and 30 hours, something like that.
Yeah, it really looks good. Probably like one of the better looking JRPGs on the PlayStation that I've seen, compared to Final Fantasy VII. I know that one was popular, but
Yeah.
this looks a lot more engaging. It has the same turn-based play style, but you guys getting down and dirty.
Oh yeah. And then like what you seen, like it looked like she absorbed the enemy. That's one thing that I thought was pretty cool, because like that's how you get magic. And you got what's on their wrist. It's called Suru. And certain enemies, you'll see like an icon next to their name, and it's because you can absorb them. And there's it's all random. There's no real way to do it. It just happens organically. And that's how you acquire different magic. Like different enemies could do different things. Like the thing is called Vera. It looks like a bat. You absorb that heals you. And then there's like some other ones that you can deal damage. It's different. And then, but that's how you do magic. It was pretty cool. I like the presentation on it though, but it was a really good game, and one that I would definitely suggest it if you have time to play it. Cause like I said, it is a lengthy one. It is. And they do have a sequel, Legaia 2 on, PS2.
Okay. Definitely looks pretty cool. Legaia.
Oh, where'd you go? There it is. Never tried it. Oh man, yeah. Legend of Legaia. Yeah, that was one I played. It was I was in the 8th grade. Buddy got me on that. I was sucked in, man. I was totally hooked. I played it just like 15 minutes in, and I was just like, "Yep, this is for me. I'm totally playing this." So, Legend of Legaia. Out of these games, where are we putting it? So we got B, A, or S.
B, A, or S. Wait till your thing catches up so I can see the other games.
So we got Medieval, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing, Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid, and Mega Man Legends are the games that are left.
And what tiers do we have left?
We have S, A, and B. S hasn't been touched yet, and we have 2 for A and 2 for B.
I definitely can't say S, but it looks like I'd probably say B.
All right. Well, we're gonna. Gosh dang it. All right, we're gonna put it in A. Because I'm gonna. I mean, I want to say S. That's just me. I'm like, ugh. So, but you say, but I get. So I'm just doing the average. You say B, I say S. So it's gonna go into A.
Yeah.
Young Sykes, welcome to the chat. She says S. I don't know if that's a he or a she. I don't want to make any suggestions.
He's a dude. What's up, Sykes?
Okay.
that's a dude.
Okay.
And he's a JRPG lover, so
Okay.
I think he'd put it in S2.
That's because it's fantastic. I'm telling you. Immortal, dude, play it and you'll see. You'll come to the dark side.
I got it. I just found it in my email, so
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna like a lot of these games that you mentioned. I even got Jersey Devil. So now I'm just like I have to, you speak a little highly of it, like I gotta see it for myself.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, it's not bad. It's not bad. Am I saying it's the best one? No, but it's just I think it's an underrated, underappreciated one for as far as the 3D platformers go.
Yeah, and I get that. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
Legends of you said Legaia?
Yeah, Legaia. Legaia.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm gonna get back here, see where the chat's at, where you guys are voting on stuff still. So, we got 2 votes for Ninja Shadow of Darkness, and they got that at C right now. Yeah, I need to get a physical copy of it as well, Sykes. Irony is I got Legaia 2 CIB, but I don't have Legend of Legaia. I do got Legend. I got Legend of Dragoon. I got Final Fantasy 7. I got Legend of Mana. I'm trying to think what else there are. I know there's a couple other RPGs I got on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to end the poll for Ninja Shadow of Darkness. I guess that's going to sit in C. So that way you guys aren't getting too far behind for us. All right, Twisted Metal 2 is going to be the next one coming at you guys. Well, because I forgot to turn caps lock off. It's going to look like I'm yelling it at you guys. Twisted Metal!
You know it's the best game ever.
There you go. All right, there you guys go. All right. Okay. So now, getting back to Immortal. Got 4 games left. You got Spyro, CTR, Tomb Raider, and Metal Gear Solid.
Well, I'm gonna just get this one out the way. For S tier, Spyro.
Whoa, man! Pulled out the freaking dark horse, because man, I was not expecting that. Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
For me, that game. There's a significant portion of videos on my channel dedicated to just that franchise, which means it matters too much to me. And it really kind of pointed me in the direction I wanted to go on my YouTube channel when they released the Reignited trilogy. And that game is just an amalgamation of a lot of things I like. Tom Kenny, he's one of my favorite voice actors. Who, SpongeBob himself.
Yeah.
He plays Spyro, not in this game, but he plays him in the Ripto's Rage and the 3rd game. And Spyro he's had like a rough. Yeah, Sykes. It's I can't see it any lower, especially after I would say when I watched the trailer for the Reignited trilogy, I cried, and I couldn't stop myself from crying because I was just like, they do care.
Yeah.
And, of course it got sour because the whole everything, but that aside. When I saw the game and remastered, looking glorious, and all the voice actors was back, and I was just like, wow, it it's magic. It was magical. It's a similar strong emotional feeling that I had just like with the Hydro Thunder, except
Yeah.
this one is it's not a multiplayer game. It's just a story about a dragon going around becoming the hero of his people.
Saving all the other
And
dragons.
yeah, and just seeing all that energy come back when they announced the trilogy, and then it was like the right trilogy too, because like I don't care about that garbage, the hero's tale and all that. Yeah, then he had this weird, edgy era where he was looking all weird but cool. And
Yeah.
then Skylanders is just like, oh, what are they doing to my boy? And then they finally got back. It's like, you know what? Here, just classic Spyro, 1, 2, and 3, the only games that matter. And I'm like, that's all I ever want. I was playing this when I was a security guard. I would play this game on my phone because I had like a decent phone at the time that could
Yeah.
run PS1 emulators. And this game made that job so much more bearable.
No, I bet.
So I was there for 10 hours a day, and it was just me and my dragon bro.
There you go. Hell
So,
yeah.
S is for Spyro. So that is my S. Top 2 games: Hydro Thunder, Spyro the Dragon.
That is Afro's game. He loves it too damn much.
Gets my feelings.
No, I get it, man. Dude, seriously, I get it. I am right there with you because it is so weird. Like it, I think it's an aging thing because like obviously when you're a kid playing them, you're in the moment, right? But then when you get older and then you play those games, it has that because it takes you back to that particular point in time, and it's like that's a piece of you, and it's weird how something as simple as a video game has that big of an effect on you. You know what I mean? And you don't realize it until it's staring you in the face, and you're going, "Wow!" Like that just really hit me in the chest, and I was not expecting that, and you know, I mean, I totally get it. That's how I get about a lot of games. You know, obviously, of course, you know, Streets of Rage 2 is that like that's top tier freaking nostalgia hits right there. If I want that hit of nostalgic dopamine, I just fire that baby up, and it's just like I'm right there every time. I totally get it.
Yeah, man, it's it just it reminds me that time doesn't stop, and like it hurts so bad, but it's remembering it feels so good, and it's just like, well, if it didn't hurt this bad, then it didn't mean anything. So I'm glad that it hurts.
Yep.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It feels bad, but it's good, and it's like, man, I'm human. It's like, you get caught up in the day-to-day, the rat race, and you're just like, oh, whatever, I'm getting old and senile.
Yeah.
And you remember. And then it's like, you know what? I've had a great life.
Yep.
Video games are so freaking magical.
Yep.
And that's why we got anyway. Just say this is a family channel. This is a family stream. I don't,
Yeah, we'll try. We'll say we're PG-13 for the most part. There's some R-rated stuff that gets slipped in every now and again. You know, it happens from time to time. It's okay.
Try to keep it in check, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm a good boy.
I'm trying to look, and I'm going. I know which one of these games is going to be in the B tier, and I'm just trying to think. I'm going between. I'm trying to, because now I haven't beat Spyro. I know I'm well over halfway through the first one, and I am really enjoying it. I'm just trying to, I want to put it in S as well, but I'm just in my mind going, just trying to check to see. I mean, I could put it there.
You're floating between two excellent choices, but I'm not going to say anything.
Ah, man. Damn. No, I gotta go. Jeez. I gotta go A. In my opinion.
A is fair. I think it's
because there's
better than fair.
And this is just for me because I'm looking at it and I'm going, there's 4 games that are down there that I'm like, I would say are S. Now, one of them at least I think one of them I don't know if you'll say it's better than, but for me, it's the hit, like how Spyro is for you is how this other one is for me. It's the hits of the dopamine of nostalgia. It's like that immediate, just Yeah. And I'm like that particular one is what's going to be on the fringe. Now the problem is, oh fuck. And I'm looking at you know what no, because I can't put Spyro in B. You know what? I'll throw it in S. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it too. Now, I know you are, because I'm like, because the particular game that I'm thinking of, I was like, I could be okay with it being an A. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we'll put Spyro in B in S, because it can't go in B because no. Okay, so let's see how the chat's doing over here. What'd you guys vote on? Got 2 votes for Metal Gear. Twisted Metal 2 going to C. Okay. So now I'm going to put, and that one, Legend of Legaia. It's going to be coming at you guys now. So you guys got 2 slots left for A, C, and D. And then S, you guys have yet to put anything in there. So there's 4 slots available. And based off of Young Sykes' response, I'm assuming we're gonna get a S here for Legend of Legaia, which, I'm not arguing that. It's a fantastic game. Okay. So now we're back to me. Oh boy.
The pressure's on.
It really is, dude. It really is. And oh my God. I'll be honest, none of these games deserve to be in B, these last 3. None of them.
Yeah.
It's just because, oh God. Oh my gosh, this is tough. I guess this is going to be the one I'll just get out of the way first then. Mega Man Legends, I'm going to go B. I love Mega Man Legends, don't get me wrong. I love Mega Man Legends. It's just, I can't put it ahead of Crash or Medieval. I really enjoyed it. It was a great game, and another one that took a lot of crap when it first came out because it had the elements of an RPG, right? Like it's an RPG, but it's Mega Man, so you're still shooting at stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I should have asked you, have you played it before or no? Is this one you missed out on?
I've seen my cousin played it.
Okay.
But I never got a chance to play it. And of course, it threw me for a loop because I was like, "Who's this guy with his hair? What does the dude with the helmet?" And it's like, "No, that's him." I was like, "Oh, he has hair. I thought he was a robot." Yeah, I'm a stupid kid at the time, and it was the first time I saw Mega Man in 3D. So he looked too big to be Mega Man because the Mega Man when I saw him, the side scroller, jump shoot man.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool. He looked cool, but I was just like, "Are you sure this is the same guy?"
Yeah.
But
it threw everybody for a loop because, like I said, it's because it was trying to be different and it was adding those RPG elements to it, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And I was one of them at first. I was like, oh, that's stupid. Why would they do that to Mega Man? It's not an RPG. But then I was like, you know what? I'll stop being that stubborn freaking person, because I mean I still have that bad habit of if I see something that rubs me the wrong way, I just won't give it a chance. But
Yeah,
I
it's different.
yeah, so I was like, no, like I'll try, because I love Mega Man, and it took me a while, but I couldn't remember exactly at what point, but there was a point when I was playing it that it finally the switch went off. And I couldn't stop playing it. Like, I just started really enjoying the story arc. I liked what was going on. Obviously, you see the style. It's the anime style. I love that. And I was here for it. And I was actually disappointed once I was done with it, just because I was done. Not that I was like, oh, man, this game sucks, disappointed. I was just like, I didn't want it to end. And...
Yeah.
It's really good. It really is.
Definitely a good looking game, because back, I like how brightly colored some of these games were back then.
Yeah.
Because that's like, for me, that was an easy way to get my attention.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
if I didn't know anything about it. So.
Okay, so Sykes, since I know you weren't here at the beginning, so I have to let you in on what we're doing. So now this isn't like our top 10 or top 20 rather. These were just games that we picked, and we're just ranking them amongst themselves. That's all. But, because I mean, because it seems like a lot of people dig these types of streams, so I'm gonna try to continue doing them. I might not be doing them on a bi-weekly basis like I have been, but because I want to play video games on the channel instead of just talking about them, But so I might turn it into a monthly thing after this month. But yeah, but that's what I'm going to be trying to do. It's just coming up with the list of the games that we just want to talk about, and then ranking them just amongst themselves. So like that's why I got 3 different lists. I got my list, Immortals list, and then our conjoined lists, ranking the 20 games amongst themselves. So like that's why like you kind of see differences as far as like how we would have them ranked on our list, and then when our combined list, it's like they're in completely different spots. And then of course we got the chat, who they're a little lagging behind here on voting on stuff, but yeah.
I might want to do some. This is pretty fun. I need to do some list streams.
Oh, it is fun, dude. It really is. So 2 votes for Legend of Legaia, 1 S, 1 A. Ooh, well, can we? Can we get one more vote? I know I see we're down. We're losing steam, but it's okay. We're down to 3 people. If we can get that 3rd person to vote, be the tiebreaker. Give us a little bit here. Because I personally obviously would put it in S, of course. But since they don't have anything in S, I'll put it in S. Because I got to try to keep the chats going. So now we're going to throw in there Tenchu. Tenchu hasn't been ranked yet for you guys. So make sure you guys vote on where you want Tenchu at once I get it up for you guys. All right, there it is. Now you guys can go ahead and vote on it. Where do you guys would like that to be? All right, so Mega Man Legends, where would you like that to fall on our list? I guess I should ask, are you just good with it being in B, or do you want it to be somewhere else?
I'm fine with wherever you would put it, because I'm pretty in the middle of the road with Mega Man. I mean, I like them, but I can't, when it comes to that one,
I'll
it
put
looks
it in
cool.
B.
I
I'll
like the aesthetic, so
yeah,
it's fine by me.
yeah, I'm cool with it being in that'd be fine. All right, so now we're back to your list. We got 3 games left: Crash Team Racing, Tomb Raider, and Metal Gear Solid.
All right. Right under Spyro and A, Crash Team Racing.
Ooh, really? Wow. I'll be honest, dude. I was not expecting Tomb Raider or Metal Gear to even fall below A, to be honest with you, man. I really didn't.
Well, the only reason why is because, I'm a little competitive. And for years, I have gotten into arguments with my friends over what's the better kart racing game.
Yeah.
Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing. And I always default to like, dude, Mario Kart is for freaking children. Crash Team Racing is for men trying to, it's violent. We fight with nitro, glycerin, and TNT. You guys throw turtle shells at each other. It's not the same.
Right.
But me and my brothers, this is another one of those games where it has a multiplayer advantage. It's under Spyro because Spyro, hits that much harder. But it's right there because, I would put it above, because it was Crash Team Racing, and we had a lot of fun. It was so much replay value, and some guys are working on making this game, this version of the game, the PS1 port, playable online.
Really?
So, yeah, I need to check up on it. It's been a while since I looked at it, but I'm trying to be the best that no one ever was. So this game gives my, it appeals to my competitive nature, and it's just so much fun. It's very aggressive. This is probably the fighting game, racing game for me.
I will say, as much as I don't like racing games, I do like kart racers because they're different.
Yeah, because racing game, it's kind of the same way with me. Like regular, like Gran Turismo, yeah. I like Gran Turismo too, but if you put Gran Turismo and Crash Team Racing in the same room, I don't even see Gran Turismo. It becomes invisible. So.
And of course, a racing snob would be like, "What? Gran Turismo's better."
It's like, well, I mean, I'd rather just drive an actual car.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing. That's where I've always kind of got hung up on, is like, even as a kid, I thought that I was like, if I just want to drive, I'll go drive a car. Like, I get it, you're trying to go fast and stuff like that, but it just never appealed to me like that. It just never did.
Yeah, and the games like this are a lot more engaging, for kids.
Yeah,
because you got cool animals, and then you're on a cart. Something that I've always wanted to do as a kid, get on a real go-kart, just so I could just scare the heck out of myself. Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of bad. I wasn't ready for it to be like, because now like I'm in danger if I crash or something.
Right.
But, and then it's bad. Come on, like.
Oh yeah, who doesn't love Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah, like even though I've always been more of a Spyro guy, this game made me appreciate Crash a lot more than when I got into like the Crash Bandicoot games.
Yeah.
So definitely my number 2.
All right. So Crash Team Racing.
Yeah, don't hate me, Frank.
Where are we gonna put that on our list?
I think if he's still here, like don't hate me, Frank. I still like Metal Gear Solid. It's just not.
It's not Crash.
Yeah. I mean.
Okay, well, I'll just say this. I'm gonna say I would put it in B based off of what the last 4 games are. I would say it's B.
I agree.
I say that. I'm just looking at that. If I'm comparing this to the last 4 games, I'm like, there's no way I could say as much as I'm sure I would enjoy it, because I love kart racers, but I'm like, no way. There's no way it can beat these games.
When Medieval, Metal Gear, and Tomb Raider are like in the conversation, it's just like
right. It's kind of tough.
Yeah, so I'm cool with that. I'm fine with my bias completely overhauling my list, but for the sake of this list, absolutely fine with it being a B.
Oh, Frank's still
Because
with us. He's got a laughing face. He's.
Like I said, Frank, hey, it is what it is, man. If my parents let me play games more often, the list could probably be different. That's all I'm saying. Because Metal Gear came a little bit later, and I needed help playing that. Because if I got stuck on Siphon Filter, you know I had no chance in Metal Gear Solid.
So we got Tenchu has 2 votes for A currently. So I'm going to end that. So now Tenchu is going to go A. And now we'll do, let's see, Spyro.
A fitting position for the stealth assassin.
All right, there you guys go. So now you guys can vote on Spyro. Where do you guys want that? You still got 3 slots left for S, 1 for A. B is dead. Then you got 2 spots left for C and 2 spots for D. So you guys vote on that, and we will move on. So yeah, so now I'm down to yeah, we're down to our last 4 here. So gosh dang it. This is tough, man. I think I'm gonna have to just go. Oh, God. I'm probably gonna honestly put. I think I'm gonna go Medieval is S. Yeah.
It looks like I have a chance to play that more.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Medieval's S for me. I might as well just. I mean, I'll put Crash there, but I'll wait to talk about it after you get done. But I will definitely say that Medieval, man, that game just, as the kids say, it slaps. It slaps. It does.
Didn't they come out with a Medieval release?
Yeah, they remastered it for the PS4, and it does look amazing. Don't get me wrong, it does look amazing. It's just, call me old-fashioned, but I like playing it on the PS1 just because, again, it's those hits of dopamine for the nostalgia, and it takes me back to when I was a freaking 12-year-old kid playing this game. And I remember not only I can remember this game, I can remember verbatim the night that I first played it and what I was doing that night. I got introduced to this game, played it. It was also the first time I watched the original Night of the Living Dead, and it was also the first time I ever had banana peppers and pepperoni on a pizza, and it just turned me out on it after that. And I also we were outside playing laser tag all in one night. It was fantastic. It's a good day.
Oh, wow. Pepperoni and banana peppers.
Oh yeah, because I didn't even know what a banana pepper was, and then the kid that it was me and a couple other kids that were over at this dude's house, and they were wanting to get pizza, and they said, "Oh, pepperoni, banana peppers." I said, "What's a banana pepper?" And they're like, "You never had banana peppers?" I said, "No." And they're like, "Oh, it's amazing," and I tried it, and I loved it.
Yeah, see, as a kid, I would have been like fighting that. I'm like, pepper, so it's a plant, not meat. A fruit? What's wrong with you people?
All right.
Me being not knowing left from right.
Yeah. No, I was always open-minded when it came to food because growing up as a kid, my dad, he hunted and stuff a lot, so I would have some random ass stuff like I had frog legs growing up, turtle soup growing up, rabbit, deer meat, just whatever the hell he decided to kill, we would eat. Like it would be, just some random stuff. So Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much an open book when it came to food. I was like, I'll at least try it. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna like it, but I'll at least give it a try, you know. But anyways,
Yeah.
getting back to Medieval, like as you can see, the art style totally it drew me in, and of course now we got a stupid ad. No, skip. But the art style completely drew me in because it had that gothic slash Tim. I call it the Tim Burton style, but it was actually, dang it, I had the name of it right. I'm sounding like you. I had it on the tip of my tongue. It's an old style that actually was derived from old German films, and I can't remember what the heck it was called, but you can look it up online. And it was back in the 1930s, and it was that funky abstract look, like the doors weren't symmetrical, like they were angled funny, you know what I mean? And just everything wasn't. It was just disproportioned purposely, and I love that. I just love it. I think that it's a cool style. I think it, in that particular style, I think it went very well with the Polygon era for how clunky it already was, but it meshed so well with it, and it still looked really good. And the challenge aspect of this game, it is challenging, and again, it'd be like one where it's difficult. I don't want to say difficult. I'll just say it's challenging because you don't know how to do certain stuff. But then once you start figuring out the patterns and how to go about attacking and stuff, then you're able to start kind of flowing through, and it's really good. And one, if you have not played, I definitely suggest playing some Medieval.
Yeah, I'll try the original because I just looked at the trailer for the new one, and I can kind of see where you're coming from. Like it's a little too proportionate, a little
Yeah.
too because medieval confused me as a kid. You know, when I looked at it, I was like, was he a zombie or whatever?
Yeah.
But I never forgot the aesthetic.
So the story arc, real quick, just that way you have context. So he's brought back from the dead, and what he was like the hero that never was. He was supposed to like lead this army against whoever the main antagonist is to kill him. And as he's going into battle, he gets shot in the eye with an arrow. So that's why like he doesn't have one eye. And he gets brought back to life to basically right the wrong that, you know, he gets to be the one that was chosen to kill the freaking main antagonist. And then like as you're collecting the chalices and stuff like that, you have to talk to the different heroes that are in these statues, and it's in the Hall of Heroes, and they basically they just dunk on him the whole time for basically being like a schlub. They're like, oh, you're here, like why did they pick you? And like it's so good. And he doesn't really talk. Like he just goes, "Rrr, rrr, rrr," and like he gets all mad and stuff. But then they they put like captions at the bottom. But the way they do it, it's so good, and it's just like that's what it's like. And it's just when you start getting into the backstory of the character, it makes you love the character even more. And it's definitely a well put together story. The platforming is fantastic. Like I said, the graphic design and the animations are just perfect in my opinion for a game like this, and it's one that I would definitely say if you're one for playing games based off of like vibes, like this is one that like when you're playing like the fall time, it's like perfect vibes for like the fall / Halloween vibes. Like it's all, yeah, I love it. It's a good one.
Okay, I definitely try out the OG, triple OG.
Oh yeah. All right, so that's where my list is gonna sit, but we'll talk about Crash Bandicoot in a moment. But in the meantime, where are you wanting to? What's your next game, and where are you wanting to put it?
I hate to disappoint Frank. Because, again, like I said, Metal Gear Solid and Siphon Filter, great games, and I played a fair share of them both. But this is going off of me back in the day when I was actively playing these games. In the case of Metal Gear, trying to, but Tomb Raider has got to go to B, and then right under Tomb Raider would be Metal Gear.
So you're going Tomb Raider is B and Metal Gear Solid is C.
Yeah, because at the time, I guess the game now is definitely better than Tomb Raider. But at the time, PS1 era, I found shooting dinosaurs and wolves with Tomb Raider it was too good. And by the time I got to Metal Gear Solid, it was a little too late for me. But I did appreciate certain aspects about the game much later. Because, as a kid, it's hard. Like, and Frank, I promise you it's not. But it's just, as a kid, it was hard for me to understand what was happening in Metal Gear Solid. Like, for example, what's his name? The floating guy with the oxygen mask. What's his name? I know his name.
I can't remember. It's been so long since I played it.
Yeah, he had this thing where you had to like manipulate your memory card in order to like beat him. I didn't know what the hell that was. And by the time I figured out what it actually was, I was playing Twin Snakes on the GameCube. And so I was just like, I remember the game well. The game is very memorable. But compared to Tomb Raider, like I got a lot further and had a lot more fun with Tomb Raider because, I mean, come on, dual wielding guns running around in your giant mansion. Like, come on, dude. Like, I ain't doing none of that in it's Psycho Mantis, that's his name. But yeah, I'm not doing any of that in Metal Gear. And then it was top down. I had an issue with top down games back then because I just didn't understand them. It wasn't until like, I had to grow up. For me, and this is my the biggest thing that I in my what do you call it? It's not okay, but for me, my situation was different because I wasn't allowed to play games as much as many of you guys. My parents gave me like 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and most of the times they just tell me, no, you can't play games, read a book. I'm like, then why did you let so-and-so get us a PlayStation if you're not going to let us play the dang PlayStation?
Yeah.
So my time was limited. If I was able to play games as freely as many of you guys did, I would have this list would be completely different. That's why games like Spyro hit so hard because I was able to play through them faster, and I was able to get a lot more done with them. Get further along in the game, and they were easier to play. Like I didn't have to worry about getting stuck and listen to Logan say, I'll improvise. I'm like, what does that mean? Just tell me what to do. I'd rather just be a dragon and shoot fire because I only got 10 more minutes. Yeah. And I'd rather not be frustrated looking at this controller. Plug your controller into the second controller port. So you like playing Castlevania? Like, I don't know what this is, man. But again, it was later on where I finally understood. But that's my story. That's why it's there. Not because I think the game is like, subjectively bad, because years later I finally figured it out. But Tomb Raider was a game me and my brother played a lot together, so that's why I was able to get a little bit more done in this game.
Now, I will say, just to clarify now, I was in a similar situation as you. I wasn't able to play games all the time either. My main way to even play games for an extended period of time is only in the winter time, because if it wasn't freezing outside, I was in the same boat as you. My dad would be like, "Why are you in the house? Like, get out, go do something." And I'm like, "What the hell? Like, why'd you buy this thing if you tell me I can't play it?" It's like that's what it was. It was the same thing. But if it was in the winter time, my mom would yell at my dad and go, "Yo, Chris, it's freezing outside. The kids don't have anything else to do. Leave them alone." But if it was warm outside, oh, dude, he was going nuts. But I couldn't. I had to get out of the house. But yeah, so I had to basically, whenever it was winter time, it was like I was making excuses to make sure I didn't leave the house if I was trying to play a certain game at my house. You know what I mean? So that, for the same reasons, like I got to get it in and I got to make sure I play this game all the way through.
Yeah, and once time becomes like a finite resource, you really just kind of have to be smart about what you do.
Yeah.
And that's why, past team racing, like, yeah, you can play this game relatively quick and with all your brothers and having a good old time. Same thing with Spyro. You can knock out like the entire, eventually got good enough to where I can knock out the entire game in one playthrough. And then I'll start doing tricks and stuff like, I can collect all of the gems and emeralds and blah, blah, blah. But I was getting nowhere close to doing that in a game like Metal Gear Solid. That was just same thing with Siphon Filter. Like I said, I ended up backseating for a lot of that game and just committing a lot of it to memory. Same thing with Metal Gear Solid. So I had a shout out to my older brother for playing a lot of these games for me.
So Frank is saying that Tomb Raider was confusing to him. There was no direction and the levels were huge from what he thought.
Yeah, and they were, but that game was easier for us both, me and my brother, to play versus something like, Siphon Filter where I just like, yeah, dude, you play it, I'll watch because I don't know all I'm going to do is sit here and taser people all day, and that's going to get old when I could be a dragon running around in Avalar. But yeah, but no disrespect to Metal Gear. I didn't understand Metal Gear until Twin Snakes came out, and I started hanging out with some of my friends. Yeah, my friends loaned me their GameCube, and I was like, oh, that's what was going on. I see. So maybe I'll put that in like the GameCube tier list. I don't know.
All right, so with that, obviously I'll just go back to mine real quick. Yes, Crash is going in A, and Crash to me, it's that one. This is the one that I thought it did really well to get me hooked, and this game, it was just phenomenal. I loved the aesthetics, and I know I've told this story a billion times, but I'm gonna say it again. And this was the game that got me into the PlayStation, and I was in the 6th grade, and this kid brought in the PlayStation for whatever it was for like the last week of school or whatever, and it was just a screw around day. And when I first seen the Wampa fruit, the colors and stuff, I was like, what the hell is this? Whatever it is, I want it.
That was so good.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I was beside myself. I was like, I want me a PlayStation. I was like, because at the time, I was hearing about the Sega Saturn, and I was like, bump that. I want this thing. I loved the console, the way it looked, the controllers. I was like, wow, this is amazing, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. And then when I found out that it was technically cheaper than the Saturn on top of it, I was like, well, shit. Well, I don't know why my parents wouldn't want to get this, Like, it doesn't make sense. Gosh dang it, another freaking ad. I tried skipping through these videos to try to get away from this, and then here we are. It's like every 30 seconds ad. Screw you.
Yeah. It's really frustrating.
But, but this game, man, I think that for, again, being very early on in the Polygon era, they knocked this one out of the park. I mean, for being one of the first 3D ones, I'm like, I don't know. I would like to think you have played Crash before, correct?
Oh yeah, like I played it. Like I said, but out of the two of them, Spyro appealed to me more. My younger brother liked Crash a lot more than I did.
Okay.
But I did like Crash. He was up there. But since Spyro and Crash are kind of similar, I was like, I'll pick Spyro since that's kind of the one that really resonated with me more. And Crash got the kart racing game, so I was like, okay, Crash, you still get your representation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like my logic for going into that one.
Yeah, like I know you got a little bit of delay, but that part when you're gonna see him jumping on the the steel arrow blocks, like the depth, like it's not just, I mean, technically it is left to right, but if you hit up or down, you're gonna end up missing one of those blocks. And it's just like, it's just a different thing. And I don't know. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like it's it's fun to look back on and kind of see where it all began. And I noticed that the remake of Crash Bandicoot. I played it and I didn't dislike it for some reason. And I'm guessing it's because I was more of a Spyro kid. But the remake of the Crash, whatever trilogy, Insane trilogy, it was a pretty good remake. But the aesthetic of the original just kind of sticks out to me a little bit more. But
so right now I pulled up Metal Gear Solid, so that way you can talk a little bit about that as far as why you decided, I mean, not saying that you didn't like it, but what you did like about it and why you felt it should be where it was at on your list, because it is in your B tier, correct? Or C tier? C tier. That's right, because Crash was in A, which I know it's for personal preference, so I can't really be mad at it. But
well, like I said, since I was younger, this game, I just didn't understand a lot of what was going on. And it was more confusing because the thing about Metal Gear Solid, I'd say it earned its mature rating, not because like the subject matter was like, whoa, this is rough. It's like you really kind of have to have a slightly more developed mindset to get this game.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. I was very, very confused. And then, like I said, the fact that it was top down didn't help because top-down games just confuse me even further. So not only is this game like complicated or complex, now I gotta look at the top of this guy's head. I can't see around corners, and there's so many things you're supposed to be able to do. And it wasn't until I got much older and started being able to play games more frequently that I start to understand what this game was, and appreciated it much later. Metal Gear Solid, I really appreciate now. And I think when Snake Eater came out, that was the one that, again, I watched my brother play it. I could have figured it out, but by this time, it was like kind of like a tradition. At this point, I was like, yeah, Jonathan, you play it.
Yeah.
Because I think you'll, get further along. And I like kind of figuring out the story as it goes, because this is confusing as hell, dude. Like the Shaggle Hog and why is this guy...
Oh
with
yeah,
a weird face. And then that continued on with the Phantom Pain when it came out. I remember when they first dropped the trailer for it, and I was like, dude, what the hell is this? Giant flaming whales and this floating guy. Like, is this Metal Gear Solid? I think so. I know Kojima's on it, but there's a whole thing going on with Konami. I don't know what the heck is going on, man. Moby Dick Studios? What the hell is this? But, I think the Metal Gear Solid game that I finally played for myself through was Metal Gear Solid 2. So by that time, I kind of finally understood Metal Gear. But at the time, back in the day, as a kid, PlayStation, there's no chance in hell I could ever figure out the game. But I still remembered it enough to like it more than Egg Escape, more than Siphon Filter, and yeah.
So on our list, we did not rank the last four. We got 3 slots for S, 1 for A. Which one of these? So which one of these are going into A?
I'm trying to. I don't want to look at this list as I would have as a kid. So, oh man, what goes into A?
Now this is just me because it's the only one. This is the only one on the last of these 4 that I have not played. I haven't played Tomb Raider really much at all. I remember trying to play it when I was younger, and similar to like what Frank said, I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, so I gave up on it, and then I just never went back to it. So
Yeah,
that
I'd
was just me.
say I'd be fine with Tomb Raider and A.
So you'd be cool with that Tomb Raider being an A.
Yeah, because like I said, Metal Gear is for me it was an acquired taste, and I wasn't quite developed yet to
Yeah.
get it, but I definitely could see it up there. And how you describe Medieval sounds like how I describe Spyro.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
definitely want that below S.
Yeah, Crash would have been the only one that would have been okay with it being an A, but then when I seen where you put Tomb Raider, I was like, okay, well then there's no reason that should be even towards the S tier then, because I wouldn't have put it there. But that's just because I haven't played it. Now that is on my list to go back and play it as an adult, because I'm sure I'll be able to figure out what it is I have to do. It's just sitting down and actually doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with me because me and my brother we played through a lot of the Tomb Raiders. Like I say that Tomb Raider, but we pretty much played through the entire franchise up to that point,
Yeah.
all the way up to Tomb Raider. It was on the Dreamcast. I want to say it was Tomb Raider. Well, let me just look at it. Tomb Raider, the Dreamcast one. Which Tomb Raider was that? Revelations? The Last Revelation. That's what it was. Yeah. Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation. But we also had Tomb Raider on the family computer.
They did have it on PC, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
So I forgot they did.
I think it was called Tomb Raider Gold.
All right. Well, we've been on for quite a while, so I think we'll just wrap things up for the evening. As you guys can see, we'll just briefly go over our list. For the S tier, we had is Spyro, Crash, Medieval, and Metal Gear Solid, which I feel is definitely good. Then our A tier, Vagrant Story, Hydro Thunder, Legend of Legaia, and Tomb Raider. B tier being Einhander, Tenchu, Mega Man Legends, CTR, and then C tier was a Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Twisted Metal 2, Ninja Shadow of Darkness, Siphon Filter, and then for D we were looking at Blasto, Ape Escape, Jersey Devil, and Tekken 2, which in hindsight it's really not too bad. There might be a couple that I'd flip around, but for the most part I think that's actually pretty accurate. I think I'm pretty good with that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I would say for myself, this is probably overall the most accurate one that by the end of it, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with that. Because like the other ones I've done, there's probably been like close to half of them. I'm like, I should have shimmied like at least half of these around. But no, this one seems like this is pretty fair.
Yeah, I like this. I'm gonna do a few more of these kind of. You should definitely do one for the Dreamcast. That's the one where I'm gonna squirm the most.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be crying at the end of that. I'm like, I refuse to put anything less than S. It's like, Josh, we gotta. Everything can't be an S.
It all can't be an S. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like it can't be an S. It's just you gotta just tell yourself you're not saying it's a bad game. It's just where would it rank amongst its peers? That's all.
They're all equal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for those of you that do not know, Immortal Afro, you can find him on, of course, the tubes of you at the Immortal Afro. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Check out his content over there. And even if you have not subscribed to my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it if you at least hit that like button for me. It helps me out to try to get some eyes on the channel. And if there's anything further that you guys would like to add in the chat or in the comments after this gets uploaded in VOD format, like something that you'd want to see, feel free to post up in there. That's what we're about over here. It's always about trying to, be as open and I guess is try to let you guys be as involved as possible, especially when it comes to live streams and stuff. I love getting the interaction from the chat. And I know sometimes it feels like pulling teeth, or I sound like I'm saying the same thing, trying to get you guys to say or do something, but it's just because I know how it is being on the viewing side. And sometimes you feel like the person you're watching isn't really being engaging. And I want to try to make sure that you guys are just as involved as what we are while we're talking about stuff. So even though like I might not be directly saying stuff to you guys, like, you know, putting the polls up so that way you guys are making your own tier and stuff with us, you know, stuff like that, just trying to, you know, keep you guys involved while we're chugging along and talking about stuff. But with that, yeah, we'll call it a night. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging in there with us for this extended period of time. Thanks, Immortal, for hanging in there with me as well. I know it's been a long evening, but we will definitely do this again in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. We should make a series out of this because we got plenty of consoles and generations and eras to make of it. So I'm glad you had me.
Oh yeah,
appreciate it.
I've been a little politically correct, if you will, thus far with the rankings. Everything's just been of one console, but when I start doing the like Super Nintendo versus Genesis stuff, oh yeah, it's gonna get spicy, and there's gonna be people that are gonna have their takes for sure. You already know when it comes to that type of stuff, Sega versus anything, or Sega versus PlayStation. It'll get a little more hectic. So right now we've been playing easy ball, so to speak, so far.
Playing nice. A little blood sports is good for the soul.
Yeah, right. All right, everybody. Well, thanks again for hanging in there with us, and I will see you guys in the next stream. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody.